and go live if it's permissions.
We're live?
Okay.
Pretty sure. We are
Okay.
live.
We're live.
Just check real quick by going to YouTube Studios.
Yeah, no, we're live. I'm on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, man, we live, man.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement. Many of you are probably expecting this. As of today, Almighty Suspect will no longer be a host on No Jumper. For anyone who's living in a hole in the ground, there was a confrontation last night between Brandon, a.k.a. Bucci Bear, a.k.a. Dark Brandon, and Almighty Suspect that resulted in both spit flying and a knife being pulled out. Both of these are infractions that I fear we just cannot tolerate as a business. You know, many times over the past couple of years, I've looked back at the Kelpie incident and I have felt like I was a little too lenient. Like, I feel like that incident, even though we managed to skate essentially because we got Kelpie to sign off on suing us, I think it was extremely lenient of us to not fire sus at that time. And I'm not going to lie, there's been a couple times since then, in particular with the whole Jalise thing, where it really, really felt like he was on the border of attacking her. That got a little scary for me and made me feel like, Jesus Christ, maybe this is not okay. But yeah, I just feel like we just can't tolerate that kind of stuff in here. It's just way over the line. I have nothing against him. I told him I have nothing bad to say about him. I'm not going to come on here and trash him. I'm not going to treat him like a sharp or anything like that. But as a business, the liability associated with having somebody on camera who we have like essentially no assurance is not going to fly off the handle like that. It's just too big of a risk, and it's just not the kind of platform that I want to run at this point. I mean, honestly, the loose cannon situation has been a very bad look for the brand. There's definitely been artists who are just straight up like scared to come here to do interviews because of the fact that they've seen that clip and they just feel like violence is just a normal everyday thing here. So that incident from last night, not a good look. And we just have to take sort of decisive action in order to avoid that. Now, was Brandon instigating? I think that's fair to say. But that being said, instigating with words is one thing. And if maybe this had been brought to me afterwards and it had been said like, oh, look at the way that Brandon was talking to him, blah, 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 maybe then it would have been a conversation. But the reality is that Sus is the one who got physical with it. And to me, it's an easy decision. If it had been the spit alone or the knife alone, it would have been an easy decision. It being both of them at the same time, you know, it's an easy decision. Now, I will address this narrative that I know that a lot of people are going to probably want to run with, since apparently Flacco ran with it in his video. Lush, do you feel like you're at fault?
Not at all. like 0%. But I think the whole way it transpired is really unfortunate, and I wish that there is a way that it didn't have to have this result. Like, I understand from a business perspective why, you know, that can't be tolerated, and obviously, especially considering the negative stigma that's already kind of lingering as a result of the loose incident and things like that. But I just, you know, the whole intention when we did when Brandon debated against iHypocrite and subsequently debated against me was to try to give people a variety in the type of content that we have over here. Because I feel like, I mean, there's been a consensus that we've been somewhat pigeonholed in certain genres of street rumors and activity, etc. And this is kind of like our attempt to ease our way back into highbrow content, or at least a balance, a variety of content.
I mean, a lot of us watch Jubilees, like one of the most popular channels on YouTube. You know, I love that kind of content. For me, yeah, creating those debates was an easy decision. That being said, I feel like you're trying to pivot away from the fact that you wanted to get Suspect out the paint so bad that you set him up in an environment in which you knew that he would resort to violence because you still hold a lingering animosity towards Suspect because of the way that he
laid you out,
knocked you on your ass.
It's actually quite the opposite. It's me, because if you look at it like this, what is the whole number one talking point of the white nationalists, of the racists, of the hypocrites of the world, of the Nick Fuenteses of the world, is that, quote unquote, per this is what they say, black men have low impulse control. Black men are unable to blah, 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 blah. And that was kind of what Brandon's intention was when he came over here as an agent of chaos, similar to the agent of chaos that he was in the Tariq Nasheed orbit. You feel me?
But to call Brandon an agent of chaos, when even like...
I think it's a perfect description of him.
Okay, but even when the show started, from like my perspective, like, if the goal was to have them two sit down, talk out their issues, and have like a neutral field, even like when like they began like to argue, you could like clearly tell from like your laugh and laugh and every, it felt like, oh, okay, this felt like a pile on Brandon, and it kind of felt like okay, is he coming around because y'all enjoy him, or is he coming around because you felt like, let's get one up on Brandon today? And that's why, and I felt like once it was going left, again, not just you, but everybody in the room had a responsibility to sort of like say, hey, yo, chill. But even, okay, for example, even before like their sit down, but what I told everybody, again, my plan was to come here and say, as a team, we thought it was good to have them sit down and on camera. But since y'all opened up the rabbit hole, I said beforehand, what? Hey, bruh, this will end bad. Do this. And everybody said, no,
which is true.
You feel me?
Which is true. Now
I predict everything that happened.
And I was on the road, and for the record,
Yeah.
in the group chat, I just want to lay out how this went.
Yeah.
It was brought up in the group chat. Adam's not here. Who should we have on the Tuesday show?
Yeah.
Lush said, let's get Brandon and Suspect together. And then,
you might
according to you
might want to scroll up a little bit.
You reached out to them, and they both, obviously Brandon was down from the beginning, but I was informed that Suspect was down for it.
And in the debate, too, he even brought up the fact that he wanted Suspect and Brandon to sit down.
Who brought that up?
Again, I ain't watching, but you told me that.
Okay. So let's clarify a few things to address to your first point.
Yeah.
As far as from a moderation perspective.
Yeah.
Could I have done better?
You was laughing hard every time Suspect said something. It was
Hey,
feel me?
Hey, stop trying to compete for King Glazer. All right?
Oh my God! Come on, man.
This is already my title.
Oh, Glazer.
Okay, sorry.
You don't need to cuff the balls that much,
okay.
all right?
Okay.
So yeah, just grab them.
You got to do that.
Little nails feels great.
I'll let loose. You feel me? And off the ball.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So here's the thing. Number one, could me objectively, when I look at myself, because I hold myself to a really high standard,
we do.
Could I have been a better moderator? Absolutely. Now let's look at some of the things that I was dealing with, the unforeseen. I was not aware of the full extent of the lineup until 2 hours before the podcast. And then, so keep in mind, I'm trying to do multiple things at the same time. Make sure we get good content.
But it's your show. What do you mean you wasn't
hold on.
aware?
I'm towing the line between, because we like conflict. We like arguments. We like that energy. The whole point of No Jumper is controllable chaos. But when it becomes uncontrollable, that's where motherfuckers got to intervene. Now,
but don't get past that line, though.
Hold on.
I wasn't aware. Why wasn't you aware? It's your show. When Adam isn't here, it's your show.
I am not the producer of the show. I'm the A mic when Adam's not here.
Nigga, it's yours. Okay.
So these conversations, regardless, I'm not trying to.
Wait, pause. Okay, sorry. A producer gives suggestions, meaning this, okay? If I'm on right, the Thursday show, okay? I don't care if Josh and Remo says, hey, yo, let's have these three. No, nigga, if I want for these two people to be here, they're gonna be here. I mean, if Adam isn't here, it's your show.
Well, clearly I don't have that jug, because I brought 150 people here and they weren't even allowed in the building.
You could have told Josh and Remo
that narrative out the water.
You didn't intentionally do that.
No juice card.
Bro, no.
Just to be fair,
Okay.
If I really had juice to that degree,
You might not have known, though, right? But again, if Adam isn't here, this is your shit. And if Josh and Remo says, "Hey, bro, bring these," no, you can say, "No, I want one
no.
from Suspect
Look,
Brandon and these."
let
dudes
me
from
clarify.
DC.
I was very happy with the panel.
Okay,
you
cool.
feel me? But here's the thing.
Did anybody know Bizarre was coming? I had no idea.
I didn't know until.
So they sprung that on you guys too. Huh?
Yes, I knew an hour and a half before, which I was, Bizarre's my friend in real life. I was excited about that.
Shout
and
out
I think
Bizarre, yeah.
Shouts to Bizarre. That was fucking awesome. I wish he could have been there longer. Now,
So was he still there? Was he there when the fight took
No,
place?
he dipped
okay.
like
he had just left.
he had a
Got it.
video shoot with Be Real that night, so he dipped beforehand and shit.
Which,
so,
thank God, right? Because that would have been a terrible.
I mean, thank God. But he probably could have helped with the security. He's a big dude. He could have, maybe
Would have been a little bit more viral if Bizarre's
yeah.
I mean, really, if they just kept the camera on. Well, honestly, we have that camera.
No, we have the angles.
The funniest shit about it, honestly, just to get past the fact that it's sad that Sus is not going to be on camera anymore, but like the way that Munchie did this, Munchie went.
Got some popcorn. You got popcorn, huh?
Like, I don't know exactly what happened in his brain, but he like popped into like a squat. On the couch.
And look,
It's survival instincts, man.
and we all know physically.
Security footage. He almost fell off the back of the couch.
Yeah, that's what I was worrying about when I was watching it too. Yeah.
And we know that I'm not the most physically imposing figure, but if you watch
did
the
try,
footage,
though.
I did hop up and try to get in the mix. Like, there's been other times where I didn't, and this time I did.
And who was the security guard? Like, he looked like he was like
He's the man.
Coop, yeah, he's
Coop
he
is
was
the
always
man.
at the store and stuff. He's super good. Yeah,
Coop
But-
fucking pushed Brandon back. He
Well,
made
he's super
sure,
small, though. Like, he's not really.
he's not super small.
He's
not
a
like a
lot smaller
giant,
than
but-
Brandon.
Okay.
He's smaller than Brandon, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
But look,
Yeah, he looks small 'cause of Brandon.
So Flacco, keep in mind, I'm trying to make entertaining content, keep the show flowing with topics, make sure that we get the clips that we're supposed to be getting, and simultaneously make sure Bizarre's included and our other hosts, and not look like a bitch. You feel me? Which is a crazy thing when me and Brandon have this not contentious relationship, because me and Brandon are actually hella cool. But
Not really, though, man.
no, really though.
I'm not going to let you get that off, man.
No, we really are
We have
actually.
some issues, but I don't.
No,
think
we
we
don't.
hate each other, right?
We have no issues.
True, but super cool is not even like a
Cooler-
viable option.
Hey,
They did a debate.
Yeah.
Cooler than you think we are.
I did a
promise
debate,
you.
and I mean, he gave you a hard time about being a druggie a little bit, or alcoholic, or whatever, and
They called him
Now-
Boogie,
he
man.
kind of called you like a glazer and
Yeah.
a fucking wannabe black dude type shit, whatever. Like, but
And the sky's blue.
Yeah, I
you feel
mean,
me?
it's not-
Like
No, Lush. Listen, no, Lush. Thing is this, bro. Like, you tried your best. So again, by no means am I saying it's on you. I'm saying
no, you made a whole video with that implication already. Before that, nobody was
No.
even thinking that. I get hell inboxes. This is your
Yeah,
fault,
no.
Lush.
I'm saying, right, like in the future, man, because for me, when I look at this scenario, it's not even like a situation of, oh, we didn't know. I told you beforehand this would happen. And I laid down all my reasons why this would happen. And it kind of went ignored. And I'm saying is this, okay? Even with the aspect of your suspect didn't know until the morning of, that's crazy.
that is crazy because but there's the thing, he got a new number.
Yeah.
And I guess Josh had been texting his previous number. I didn't know he had a new number.
Yeah.
Josh had been hitting up his previous number, but at the end of the day, it would have been nice for him to know way in advance, but he didn't know, and he ended up showing up regardless.
Yeah.
And he knew that he was going to be on camera with somebody that he doesn't get along with. And I see a lot of people saying Brandon is so confrontational, Brandon is disrespectful, etc. Well, Suspect is those things as well, but then Suspect also, opened it up into the realm of physical violence, which is something that I just don't want this podcast to be like, male baddies. To any
And
extent that we don't
Suspect
have
did
to.
call him like a bitch first, which again,
Several times.
Yeah,
But
that's a
that-
good point.
But
Right.
hold on.
Honestly.
Like, Adam, remember what we discussed last week on the No Jumper Show? Triggers. You know what I mean?
Don't stab me. That's my trigger. Don't fillet me.
No Swiss Army fileros, you feel me? But on top of that, like you said, which is pretty obvious, your kid is like a line that people can never cross. And Hefe echoed those sentiments, and he said the B word. I said I have no triggers. You can say whatever you want to me. I'm not gonna fucking turn up. You feel me? I might turn up and go crazy, but I'm not gonna. There's nothing that anybody can say that's gonna lead me to a physical confrontation.
I also just think though that like as long as we're talking triggers, not wanting someone to insult your kid is a much more reasonable trigger than the B word, which is a very common word.
For
Not
sure.
that common to call other dudes that, but
No, the B words. No.
But also Suspect was saying
exactly.
it before
Yeah.
Brandon started saying, and Suspect kept calling him a fag and all this other shit. And it's
Yeah,
like,
he was.
it's like, I mean,
But okay, so what's the so there is a difference though, since we're talking about that now. There's a difference between elementary insults, literally like grade school caps,
Sure.
and personal attacks. What did Suspect really do to attack Brandon's character? Brandon is bringing up shit that's really like personal and potentially embarrassing about Sus. He's talking about, oh, you got put up or whatever, the BPS thing. Da, 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 da.
But y'all started that though.
Who started that?
Because when the show started, again, Brandon said, "Yo, let's just go to topics," and then wait, and then a topic started off with the assist shit, and then I feel like what like sparked it off was when Suspect was like, "Yo, if you like did not attack me, you wouldn't be here. You ain't shit." And then he responded back with, "Well, if you acting right." Like uncontrollable. I think he says like beta. Then if that's what it took for me to be here, then like so be it. So I feel like it, and he was trying to do topics. Y'all
No.
have
Fuck
to
that.
back and forth.
Shut the fuck up. You're wrong.
Okay.
No, and this is the
But
issue.
that's what happened, though.
I have a huge issue with what you just
Okay.
said. Trying to do topics, we literally had Sharp in the title. Torso Gate was part of the title.
Sure.
The first two topics on the screen said Sharp's name. We're trying to discuss it. I'm bringing, because it winds up becoming a random conversation about pimping and would you buy a bitch a purse and a bunch of random shit. Me, as the A mic on the show, doing what I'm supposed to do to clip farm, which is what we do, I go back to fucking Sharp. Because that's what he said. We ain't trying to talk about Sharp. You feel me? Like, nah, Les, you're not reading the room. I'm like, Dick, this is the fucking topic that's predetermined. So don't talk about how he's not only that, then Young and Hefe's like, you know what? Because like obviously it got redundant at a certain point. Young and Hefe's all, yeah, let's go to the next topic, Nipsey Hussle. So I go, okay, next topic is Nipsey Hussle. We go start discussing that. Then all of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, I see what you're trying to do, Lush. You trying to like pit black men against each other. You trying to disgrace."
But he
Nipsey's
could think
legacy."
that certain topics is dumb and still want to talk about other topics. I'm saying at the 14
But he wasn't
minute,
discussing the fucking
at the
topics. You're
14-minute
mischaracterizing
well,
what
that
happened.
is very bad podcasting. Like,
Thank
if there
you.
are topics to be
Of
discussed,
course, sure.
they should be discussed.
Fucking common
give it
sense.
Give
Sure.
it 10 minutes. Because like rejecting topics
Yeah,
and
of course.
acting like you're too good to talk about them or
No,
whatever,
and-
I'm anti that.
And it
sure.
wasn't even rejecting topics. It would get discussed for a minute, and then he would be, before he actually gets to like actual points being made, he's like, "This is fucked up. You see how these white people do? Lush, you putting everyone in a trick bag. A, I didn't fucking choose the topic.
But at the
B,
14-minute
I didn't choose to go to that topic next.
To state
C,
the obvious, Brandon does have some annoying podcasting
Of course.
quirks.
Of
You know,
course,
like
of
he
course.
turns everything into a history lesson. He strays too far. He makes a million points at the same time. There's obvious things that he needs to work on to be a great podcaster long term. And staying on topic is for sure one of his issues. That being said, you just can't compare those things to physical violence.
No, we're not. But I'm also not going
Well,
to
he
allow
wa-
Flacco to mischaracterize shit and
Okay,
be like,
okay,
he
wait
was
though.
trying to do the topics.
Okay.
He came here
Wait, though.
with pure innocence.
Let's
Look,
talk about it though. At the 11-minute mark is when the white man assist shit happened. At the 14-minute and 27-second mark is when he said, "Listen, this back and forth is happening. I don't want to go back and forth with Sus. Let's just move on to the topics." And y'all didn't do a good enough job at transitioning to the topics right when that happened. Y'all sort of egged it on some more and had to go back and forth. And I'm saying it should have been hey, bro, you want to move on? Let's move on to the topics. But y'all egged it on. Even at like the 4-hour mark, right? When it got like, right? And you said, well, okay, well, Suspect, like, and like you asked me, yo, like, what exactly made you want to do it? I'm like, bro, they already got over like their back and forth. Why even ask him, yo, right? Like, what made you want to like do this like podcast, right? I felt like we should kind of like just stayed away from like the Brandon and Sus topic after the 4-hour mark.
Fair point. But to both of those, you made two. The first point you made, I definitely could see why people would think, okay, we should have gone to the topics quicker at that point. However, keep in mind, and I will take responsibility. There's clearly gonna be an energy between Brandon and myself as far as back and forth. So I'm leaning a little bit towards not, like I said earlier, not looking like a bitch, because I made I made a resolution to myself that no more markouts. Nobody is gonna mark me out. It's happened far too many times. You feel me?
The last one that marked you out. Huh?
My asshole is so wide that I don't even fart when I shit. I've been marked out so many times on this podcast, so it's not happening anymore. I'm getting
right?
So the poop just
metaphorically,
falls out of you?
it just falls. I'm getting vaginal rejuvenation surgery, so I can't allow this to get
You mean anal rejuvenation?
whatever you want to call it.
I heard in Africa they put like gasoline inside their vaginas.
It might be an advanced technique for all we know.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT about it.
Yeah, please.
Anyway, I just want to say, much respect to Suspect. I'm not gonna get on here and diss him or have anything negative to say about him, but after last night, to me, it's just clear as day. This was a decision that we had to make. So
Now, okay, and I feel that. And to your second point, though, Flacco, the reason why I was trying to have a full circle moment. I thought that we had survived and weathered the storm by that point. Now let's reanalyze why this started and how silly it is and how great it is, this triumphant moment for Suspect. Because the whole reason when Brandon called for this on our debate, this whole thing started with Brandon's idea in our debate. We're gonna do we're gonna do Brandon and LBC Messiah and Viral Way versus Lush and Almighty Suspect. That was the original concept. That's what I brought. That's what I don't think so at all.
they didn't really get involved.
Debate what though? Again, like, what are you?
There was a few
Suspect-
different topics that were discussed.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that could have been
Gangs.
discussed. Like, well, in me versus Brandon went great, and the numbers are pretty good too. You
But
feel me?
you
Like,
and Suspect have but Suspect and Viraway, they have, I guess, like similar views on gangbanging. Brandon and you probably have similar views on gang. So like, I guess I don't see like the logic between
no,
you and Suspect
so if
yourself.
you watch the pod, you would see that me and Brandon look at gangbanging very differently.
Yeah.
Remember, Brandon used to be a gang member that
Of
dropped
course.
his flag. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I'm
But
somebody that
Viraway and you probably have the same opinion on gangbanging.
more so. Yes.
So where? Okay, so
It
where
doesn't
was
matter
you-
that, but it doesn't matter. That was the original concept that Brandon proposed. I was here for it. I thought it would be exciting. In fact, we came to you as the first person.
And
I
I said,
said,
hell no.
Flacco, we would like, because this is Brandon's suggestion as well, and I
So
agreed.
Sus was supposed to be on that debate.
Not the original debate.
Oh, okay.
During that debate, Brandon
Yeah.
said, for part 2, I want to spin the block and I want to do me, Viral Way, and LBC Messiah versus Lush and Almighty. I said,
what I
let's
said.
fucking run it, right? I said, this is great. I tell Almighty, and what I told Almighty on the pod, and this is the last time we spoke prior to him being on the pod yesterday, was, hey, this is how I know you're doing good. A lot of people really fucking with the Thursday show.
Mm-hmm.
People are fucking more with the news now that you're on it, despite your volatility and outbursts. People are kind of fucking with you, bro.
Yeah.
But I feel like what's gonna take you to elevate to the next level of podcasting is to show that you're able to have a conversation with somebody you don't like and don't get along with in a non-confrontational manner and wind up walking away,
Sure.
and people are going to see the full extent of your intellectual power. And that's what I wanted him to show. And it was successful until the last 5 minutes.
Okay, wait. So the last time you talked to him about that was when y'all was on the news together, right?
Correct.
Cool. And then y'all was trying to text him and couldn't reach him because his phone number changed, right?
No, I didn't call him
No.
or try to reach him.
No, okay, but I think like Josh said that, and he texted him, but he couldn't.
Per
reach him,
my
right?
On
understanding.
Sunday,
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I texted you too.
yeah.
We
Yes.
were in the same group text.
Okay,
Yes.
so hence.
But yeah,
the-
that's true.
Yeah, cool. So then I'm saying, so the last time anyone spoke to him about this idea was on the news. Y'all couldn't reach him, and y'all still move forward with it's a good idea to put them on without even confirming.
Well, here's the thing. Bro did recently change his number, and I don't think that the thing is suspects
But you ain't
communication.
confirmed, right?
Well, to
He
be
saw
fair,
the flyer on Instagram. That's how he even found
Sure.
out.
So, yeah. Suss's communication is a bit sporadic sometimes. Like he'll go for a while without responding and then respond, and then so I don't think that anybody thought it was abnormal that he wasn't.
My thing is, like, I'm just seeing people, like, objecting to my decision in the chat and everything. And I understand that Suss has fans. He has people who really like him. Obviously, there's people who don't like him as well. But put yourself in my shoes. If you had somebody who had at least 2 violent outbursts and a couple of other moments where it almost seemed like it was going to get there, you wouldn't make the same decision, you know? If you can't put yourself in my shoes, then chances are you're a little fucking kid who just doesn't have the ability to think about it from somebody else's perspective. Because to me, this is the most obvious thing in the world. I can think of a million examples. When Van Lathan was at TMZ, I don't think there was no video or anything. We don't know exactly how this went down. There was a video?
Yeah, like he came up from behind and like kind of like gripped the dude's neck and was like,
right.
Hey, if you ever say this, well, Van wasn't trying to hurt him though.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like that situation is not in any way comparable. Like it's not like Van like went off punching him in the face. Suspect killed me in the face like 10 times. And then that shit last night, he spit and pulled out a knife. I mean, think about what TMZ's standard was. TMZ's standard was Van Lathan can't work here anymore because he aggressively grabbed somebody's neck and like made like a threatening style comment to him. To me, that indicates how obvious this decision was, because I'm thinking that Van Lathan was probably a very, very high level, valuable employee to TMZ at that time, and they let him go over that shit. For me, it's like by giving Suspect a second chance after the Kelpie thing, I have looked at that decision multiple times over the years and just thought like, damn, like why did I like that was way too forgiving to just like let it go and just let him be back in a couple weeks or whatever. Like, and then taking that to the next level yesterday, I'm sorry. It's just, this was the easiest decision. It was just an obvious decision. My question moving forward, what do you think the Suspect will do? What do you think the future of him as a podcaster, content creator, et cetera, is? Because
he's very bright.
There's many homes out here. There's many different collectives.
How long before the mother freaking the Bacon Figs holler at him and try to get him over there?
Is that their diss name?
I don't know. I just
Bacon Figs.
Bacon Figs.
Yeah.
Bacon Pigs.
Yeah, but he's not really but he's not really like, I don't feel like Suspect will like go down the path of like doing 100 videos, this and right. I feel like is he'll probably do filming like the streaming stuff, like the rap stuff and the girl stuff.
I know some. Well,
I just don't want to say the word because that's
no, but that's the thing though. Like Sus is number one. He's a money motivated person. If you know him at all, like he's gonna get to the bag, however he gets to it. To me, like it sucks as someone that cares about him to see this taken away from him, because he cared about it. He cared about it a lot more than he let on, and No Jumper is more than just like whatever income you make on a monthly basis. It affords you a lot of other opportunities, and if you're someone that's a hustler like Sus, you know how to capitalize and maximize off of that as far as
young, man.
features.
Hello, Munchie B.
Hey, what y'all live, or are you just kicking it?
Yeah, we're live right now.
Oh no! I'm about to try to confirm something that was on the Reddit and shit. I'll just holler at you later.
Okay, I guess now I have to look. All right, yeah, I'll hit you. Just text me about it or whatever. All right, appreciate you.
Well, like I'm sure, like he's like talking about like the Suspect stuff.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah, probably. But I don't know. I'm just like assuming people kind of knew that since he's in the group chat and everything. But
here's like the fucked up part is that I did have a talk with Brandon the day that we had first like discussed this actually being a thing. Yeah. Like I had a long talk with Brandon on the phone and it was really good. And he was like, "Look, I believe that Sus is a really intelligent dude. I want to see Sus win as a black man. I don't want to fucking this dude to be in a bad position. I don't want to see him get in trouble. I just want to see him put his best foot forward. I think in reality, someone like me, you, and this is Brandon talking, me, you, Sus, and someone else like a Bro Rogan, this is like literally what he said, would be like a great potential like debate or news show, and we'd have a lot of topics we could just, and he's like, I just, I want to show people that Sus can do that. Now, Was he being disingenuous, or did he really want that?
Yeah, I've never really got the impression that Brandon was super concerned about the longevity of Suspect's career here. Like that.
This
just,
is what
he
he
told
said.
me
really
a different news lineup. Yeah. He
like,
told
that
us a
doesn't
different
really
news
seem in
lineup.
line
This is
with the
what
way
he
I've
said to
ever
me.
seen him actually
He
act
told
on camera.
us, me, him, Adam. Yeah, me, Adam, him, bro, Rogan, and I think he said, like he wanted that as like the permanent.
When did you
news
get these
lineup.
Gucci shoes? Look at you.
Hey,
He's
man,
making
come on,
money.
man.
Look at that big.
I saw those.
Is the triple S, man? Feel me?
Huge.
Yeah, man.
They're really not that big.
You feel me?
They're just
Hey.
Look at
bulky.
that big, thick.
Hey, listen, man. All the credit goes to this man right here, man. Feel me, man? Right? Feel me?
Shoes?
No, I was broke. You feel me?
Oh, all right,
You
yeah.
feel me? I'm
Happy,
up.
happy to help. But
That's
okay.
crazy though that he's like giving different fantasy lineups to whoever he's talking to
What?
to fit his narrative.
Okay, no,
That's
okay,
fucking
but he
wild
told
work.
no, but he told us
That's super
you feel me?
manipulative.
right?
He told me something different.
No.
And you
like,
weren't
my
included.
response was, bro, like another show on top of the news would kind of be crazy for me, but you know,
So he didn't mention suspect when he was
no, not at all.
Ooh.
And he mentioned you, like not at all.
Ooh, I don't
He's
care
making it
about
up.
I don't care about that.
Wait,
but I do
wait,
think that that's
Wait,
kind of
did-
strange.
Wait, did he mention you? I think he mentioned you.
Okay.
I can just check. Yeah, I think he mentioned you, but definitely Bro Rogan for sure.
Okay. With that being said,
Yeah, but suspect was not one of the people.
do you,
you
like do you think that there's a difference in the level of antagonism that they were giving yesterday, or do you think it was pretty
No, fam, here, listen, bro. If you like watch like the whatever podcast, bro, and watch like Andrew Wilson, it's kind of like how like Andrew Wilson, like he does the same shit, bro. Like right, like he would, like he challenges you, like he challenges like your point. He's a smartass about it, but I feel like in the culture of hip hop, like we feel like being a smartass or challenging somebody's points is equivalent to like disrespect that warrants. You feel me? When no, right? Like, but like people should like be able to sit down and have a battle of words. You feel me? And
Yeah,
not
like
be able
every
to-
podcast I watch,
Yeah.
they are always arguing and debating, and it's like all these
Yeah.
moments, and like very rarely does it turn into violence.
Yeah.
We Starving just forwarded a message.
What's that
I
say?
don't know if it's a clip from yesterday.
Listen. The whole point of this podcast was to have simple discourse between Brandon and Sus, and we have achieved this, which I'm very happy
The podcast ain't over yet.
about. Okay.
We watch
Real nigga, man.
Before they have
So now that we're at this point, like the whole thing that started this beef was pretty much a misunderstanding.
No, I would not
bring it
come
back
over
to
to
Pretty
this
much a
house and do fun
misunderstanding.
stuff.
The thing.
Yeah, man.
Boom.
You should have just let it go, man. Just finish off the pod.
That's
man.
your read from that? That's your takeaway?
Yeah, bro. Like, why even like kind of like bring
You're-
it back to this them two, right? Because like, y'all
How,
did-
how are you successful with the cognitive understanding ability that you just exhibited?
No.
That's what you derive from that? That's
I
fucking nuts.
feel like the like the 2 hours like that worked. Y'all did a
4
masterful.
hours.
Yeah, no. Like I told
3.5.
Yeah, right. Yo, y'all did a masterful job at kind of like just making it about the topics and about like the group dynamic. But
You
once
just critiqued 11 minutes and 14 minutes in.
no. What the fuck? Stop fucking calling me stupid fuck.
You guys wonder why I drink? I'm too smart. Like,
Yeah, 1 second. Let me just go like on silent.
And it's doing good, huh? The views?
Congrats,
Congrats, homie. Sheesh.
Yeah, okay. So Lush, do you see
on.
that as okay? So Lush, do you see like what happened? Because this
do I
will,
see it as a good thing?
no, wait. Because this here will determine how we move forward with the content. When you look at the views and look at like what took place to get the views, do you look at this as an overall good thing?
I mean, I don't think that's really for me to say. I think that's
No,
You
no,
can't let the
no.
views guide you, because from that perspective, it's like, oh yay, Brick and Luce and Big U all got arrested. We had like a big fucking month that week because they got arrested and got a Fed case. So it's like
Right.
absolute worst case scenario for some of our most valued hosts. Well, really just Brick, one of our most valued hosts. And then as a
homie,
result,
yeah.
we get a lot of views, but it's like ultimately then once the hype of talking about that wears off, it's like, all bad.
No, yeah, I don't look at the. I think that number that episode was gonna hit 100K without that, and it just sucks that it wound up being like it needed to culminate in that. Plus, it showed. I think Sus was winning up until that moment. He was roasting the shit out of Brandon all day. Had everyone saying "wee wee watcher," fucking it's funny.
He set him up, dog.
But you smile like, yo, Sus was winning. Yo, Sus was roasting. But I'm saying, if the goal was to have civil discourse, then like you would see him roasting as a L and see Brandon roasting back as a L, right?
I mean, like,
it wouldn't be seen as a W. It'll be seen as, yo, we failed our mission.
If we're on MSNBC and it's like debates of that caliber, but I think that there's a middle ground between having entertaining conversations
but your
where
mission
you roast,
was what?
but the mission was to show that Sus is capable of more than just crashing out.
I thought, wait, hold on.
Yeah,
I thought the mission was a civil discourse between Brandon and Sus and to have them solve their issues.
Correct.
But wait, okay, but those are two drastically different things.
Not really.
Suspect proving he can
both,
sit down with somebody
over...
he don't like, and Brandon and Suspect working out their issues are drastically two different things.
No, they're actually
so
not.
what was the mission?
But those are both goals that we want to do.
In podcasting, two people who have issues sitting down and working out their issues on camera is a tried and true format that we've all seen a million times over. And I'll just give you an example. Charleston White and Wack just did a long anticipated sit down on the Danza project.
1 million views.
If anyone has seen it, yeah, 1 million views. It is boring as fuck. It is not worth watching. I'm going to be totally real with you. No, I'm not. No. Shout out to Danza Project. I support them. I became a member and everything like that. But it was insanely boring. Why? Because Wag and Charleston were there for over an hour before they started to record. So as a result, they were able to work through their issues off camera. And then once they got on camera, there was almost nothing left for them to argue about. Now, from my perspective, Suspect and Brandon needed to have that sort of conversation on camera. Now, it also was like a lot more heated between them, whereas the Charleston and Wack thing, I feel like it already, like, they're such masters of content that to them, they already knew what it was, whereas with Suspect, we have kind of seen over and over that he gets very, very angry and heated, and the personal attacks start flowing. And even with Brandon, I mean, Brandon is kind of an asshole too in the way that he debates. You know, he's very antagonistic as well. But that being said, I thought it was reasonable to expect them to get on the podcast and talk about shit. Now, could they have gotten together and talked about it off camera? I mean, it changes the incentives when you're talking off camera, because once you're off camera, there's no audience, there's nobody to impress, there's no ego involved necessarily. You're able to have a conversation that maybe is easier to resolve. That was an option, but from my perspective, I mean, Suspect knew what he was showing up for. Brandon knew what he was showing up for. We had security because of that. I mean, from my perspective, it's not like you can't really put the blame on Lush or Brandon, et cetera. It's like Suspect did something that he had been warned would result in his termination. Like he had specifically, and that's part of why he stayed on the channel after the Kelpie situation, was because, as crazy as it sounds, it was never made explicit to him that he was going to be removed from the platform if he attacked somebody, which sounds insane as I'm saying it, because obviously anybody should assume that if you work at any job, including In-N-Out Burger or Five Guys, that if you attack somebody, that you're going to be fucking kicked out of that job.
Sense.
But that being said, I had not made that so explicit to him before, so we did end up giving him a second chance. He fucked up. I'm sure that, you know, he's going to move on. He's probably going to find something else good to do as well.
Look, so, okay, so in terms of the next employee, can I suggest, because somebody just like moved out here?
Who?
And Safarha just moved out here.
I don't know them.
You know Farha. Bro, like you have had her on your pod.
What?
She's the Indian girl that came with Destiny who does like mad debates and like creams everybody.
Every time I've ever been on camera with her, she has not said a word.
Because Destiny and Zerka was on that pod with you.
Fair.
No,
but also she does not seem like she knows a lot about hip hop either.
No, if you watch like her stuff with the whatever podcast and with like other platforms, like she does like bro, like she does like great views. I'm saying
let's try her out,
right? And that again, and like that's somebody that I'm about to like start bringing on for like more debates with like other people, and I feel like
does she wield a knife? Because that would be detrimental to her
Well,
future.
so in terms of like her verbal lashing to me is more potent than a knife. She would destroy almost anybody.
Well, I do want to say that to the whole world out there is that we are on the hunt for the next great No Jumper host. We are very much actively looking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ideas that we've had about different content that we could produce, maybe like a lock-in over a weekend with a bunch of different hosts where we live stream the whole thing and one by one eliminate them, something like that.
A Big Brother type shit.
I like that.
I would like to do something like that. I would like to do a lock-in. Now, that being said, will that actually take place? I don't fucking know. But let's just make it clear that if you want to be a No Jumper host, we want to hear from you. That being said,
But no ops.
there's a person in this room who I've had issues with over the last, I don't know, year, etc. And that man, Peritz.
Perris, what's up, Perris? What's cracking? And finally, Compa Raiders in the house.
Let's go.
What's up, Compa?
Hey, compa.
What's
Hey,
cracking,
compa.
Man.
Hey, man.
He sells
Free
sushi.
break, free break. And it sucks for us. You know what I mean? Like one man's fall, one's come up. It's like
This was already planned, right?
Like that.
This isn't like an actual.
No, I'm gonna tell you like that,
substitute,
Compa.
right?
No, I thought
substitute.
It was respectfully.
He's a substitute.
You know what I mean? It was sad that I had to come in and see this. But I mean, like, hey, man, one man's trash is someone else's treasure, you know?
Hey.
So, Spezza la tira. Hey, you don't have to look no further, dog. I'm here.
Let's go, Raiders.
What's up, dog?
Look, the Compa.
Jesus Christ, we love you, God.
I just want to know one thing, though, bro.
What's up, dog?
When you came up here that day to beat Adam's ass when like they were
Oh,
filming,
man, I was in a dark
did you
place.
actually feel like you could take him, or was it like,
man.
yo,
Back
I'm
then,
just here
hey,
to, like,
right
cloud chase?
Look,
I
honestly.
dressed like John Cena today for a reason.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him. He's been
Yeah.
juicy, dog. And he said
Yeah.
he popped a pill.
Yeah.
He's ready. He's all zesty out.
No dick pill. But I am feeling a
Why'd
little
you come
zesty,
though?
yeah.
I came to give him some sushi. And thank God you guys didn't open the
okay.
door. I was in a dark place at that time. Dark. You see me all fat looking, all jade out. And honestly, I
you
went in
on
a dark
drugs?
place. Huh? Yeah, I was on everything. Saca la bolsita, drinking up for days. I've been up for like a whole month. I took Lefty Gunplay records 20 days. Come on. I was like on 50 days. I was in a bad place. Dog. That's why we got
Really?
close. But
Have
we
you ever
were
smoked meth with Lefty?
Nah.
That's fucked up.
But hey, what's up? I'll spin the pookie with you, fool.
Yeah, no, honestly, that would be like smoking
Yeah, it was-
a blunt
like
with
a
Cheech and
Zinde,
Chong,
yeah.
like literally.
Okay.
But
Dante with Lefty is an honor.
And him?
Yeah.
Fuck,
what-
all of us.
But you've always been more of a coke dude, I thought.
Yeah, it was a bolsita because the pookie is cool, but it's like
Yo, I'm gonna be honest. I need a history lesson because I can't really remember why we stopped fucking with each other. Like you
Because
were,
you went on live and
you were,
dissed
you were still on the platform, right? But then you
Yeah.
just randomly dissed me
Okay,
Yeah.
on live with him.
Yes.
So we went on live, and then I was heartbroken because of on a sick one, and then we just launched the show, and the next day you're like, you know what, it's done, we're over, and I was like, what? And yeah, but I was on a.
Ours was doing pretty good though.
Yeah, well, I was in a sick ass bender, so I thought,
Ours
like,
was
what
pretty
is
good.
Adam hating? What's going on? Because our numbers are doing right. Woo woo. And then we went live, and it was not even like a fuck you, Adam. It was just like Jade out, just saying it, you know. And you went and ran content, and I thought you were really dissing, and I started.
I was
tripping.
mad.
You were mad. You were mad about that.
I was mad. I was like, boom, he's banned from the platform.
And I was like, why am I bad, dog? I was like, all right. And I was like, I came in quick and left quick. I was like,
No, because you was mad that and like he says something about you during the Adam and Wack show, and at that time you and Wack was going at it. So like
Yeah.
right, and you felt like he was kind of siding with Wack and going against you, and that's why you sort of said
he
that.
used my word, the J-Cat word on me. I was like,
Well,
yeah, no,
okay,
I was
to be
like-
fair,
and
you
I
went-
introduced you to that word.
You came on the podcast.
Yes.
And you used a derogatory gang slur to disrespect Wax Hood.
I didn't even know
And then
that,
you-
though.
Yeah.
No, I
right,
didn't,
bro.
though. I was just
I'm not
talking.
gonna
I was
say
drunk.
it.
Don't say it.
I'm not going to say
I come
it,
in
but
peace, dog. I
it-
come in peace.
I remember sitting there and listening to the way you said it, and I remember thinking, like, that's a weird way to say that someone is being soft.
No, you're
That-
trying to instigate
That's
right
a
now.
strange way to put that. And then later I find out what that term meant because I am kind of in the dark when it comes to various intricacies of gang life. And then my issue with that was that I felt like you played the victim afterwards, where you acted like you had no idea or like you were being bullied and picked on, when from my perspective, when you use the derogatory slur for somebody else's hood, you very much are making it clear, I want the smoke.
Well, yeah, and just to add further context, Raider was being very antagonistic towards Wack for a while, but beyond that, what happened was the show got canceled, but Raider got brought back a few times.
Yeah.
During those appearances, Raider was kind of faded. You feel me?
all jaded out. He looked at those clips. I'm like, damn, I can't
You
believe
weren't
it.
super psyched with Raiders appearances, so you said Raiders the homie. I fuck with Compa Raider, but
Right.
I just don't really want him on the pod anymore because he's fucking.
Which is
Would.
fair.
I was all like,
Yeah, right, that's
janky.
fair,
I was, yeah, it was fair. You know what I mean? It's his
So,
platform.
but
and I-
Raider took that as like a big diss, and that's what
Huh?
made him.
But I got cleaned up and I'm ready. You don't need to look for no more hosts.
What
What's
made
up, dog?
you say, yo, I'm ready to forgive Compa Raider and bring him back?
Honestly, I think it was kind of like the Lush thing where it's like I was mad. Enough time goes by. All of a sudden, these issues don't seem like as much of a big deal, and then I kind of become open
You have
to
hope, suspect.
reciprocation.
Yeah, see, hey, suspect, don't even try. I'm gonna give you advice. You should give him advice too. You know what I mean?
You have
You be
hope?
good, dog. Just don't diss, dog.
I have the best advice, but
What is it, dog?
but with that being said, I'm curious. How did your combo with Almighty go, and how did your combo with Brandon go?
So I was in a hurry on the way here, so I actually left him a voice note instead of calling him.
Okay.
Wait,
So-
so who told him that he was
My
done?
voice note.
Oh wow.
But he had
okay.
already assumed that he was.
Well, he,
I had talked to him last night a little bit.
yeah, he messaged me and said, "So I'm fired?" Question mark.
So how did your conversation
How did your combo go, Josh?
I mean, it's between me and suspect, but I pretty much laid out that this was something that he knew was not something that we could tolerate here. He had been in a situation like this before, and unfortunately, the way that things played out, there's repercussions for that.
So the obvious narrative is people are going to be like, suspect was put in an unfair situation. What do we think about that?
He chose.
Unfair by
You set him up, Lush.
He chose to enter into that situation, though, right? Like he didn't.
Yeah, right. Because you could choose to like not. Again, for example, right? If I was him, if I would have like woken up and seen, oh, my face was on the flyer with somebody that I don't like, I'm not showing up. Right?
You would have called
I just won't show up. You feel me?
But
Right.
then-
So if you choose to show up, then you kind of have to say that you're responsible for everything that happens. You know?
Yeah, it's the same rules for everybody, honestly. Like if you're gonna be a part of this business, you can't be doing violence
fighting.
in the building. Yeah. Now, there has been instances in the past that I won't get into extreme detail about, but where someone felt like they were due a fade. I'm not even talking about the Lush and Suspect situation, and two people didn't tell me or didn't tell anybody who works here, and they went out back and they beat each other up. I mean, I gotta respect that. Like
That's cool,
they
yeah.
chose to
Mutual
do
combat.
mutual combat. They took it outside the building.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even really have known about it if it didn't kind of get back to us or whatever. But I mean, that is one thing. If suspect, okay, that situation, suspect would still be working here if he had stood up and said,
Let's go
"All
outside."
right, bitch, let's go. Boom, we're going outside." If he had chosen to do mutual combat outside of the building, I can't really say anything about that.
He was probably trying to do
Or if he
content.
chose not to be a part of the podcast, he said, "Fuck this." I'm
Yeah,
not
if he had
sitting
said,
down,
"Fuck
I'm
Brandon, I
out."
don't like Brandon, I'm not going on," that'd be fine too.
Do you? So I've seen a lot of people say that Brandon should have stayed on the pod and Sus should have been the one to leave.
That's how I felt as well, but it was explained to me basically that they were like just trying to get Brandon out of there, and I don't know. Like, I mean, I wasn't here.
Well,
I don't know.
I thought it was mature for Brandon to remove himself. Then I believe Coop had told him like, "Hey, you know what I mean? Nothing's gonna positive come of you staying around. You should just dip."
Yeah.
And he was asked to leave at that point, and he did. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, when you think about No Jumper, a lot of the craziest, most contentious moments realistically have kind of stemmed from Sus. Like, I'm thinking about him letting out the hyena cackle at your freestyle that has recently been revisited and gone viral.
millions of
The
views.
Jalise thing, that was pretty crazy. You know, it's like there is a lot of, when it comes to Suspect, there has been a lot of craziness associated with him. And obviously we love the craziness. We love the wild arguments, the watch exploding when he was yelling at Jalise. That was like the funniest fucking thing ever. But at a certain point, when it starts to seem like it's going to be a liability, like people have to understand that like these live streams do not earn a bunch of money. Like realistically, the amount of money that we might earn off of AdSense from doing the news on any given day is usually like equal to or less than the amount that we have to pay the cast to be on camera. So from our perspective, anything that in any way puts us in jeopardy is just not worth it. So from my perspective, I mean, it was just an easy decision. Like even just doing the news is just not like it kind of makes sense in the long run with the brand because interesting stuff happens and it allows us to try out more characters and we get clips from it and everything, and maybe it kind of like ends up in the black as a result. But we just can't be like taking on situations where if it wasn't Brandon and if it was somebody else and they decided that they wanted to sue us, if that had been Dejan sitting there, I'm already hearing from the lawyers. Yeah. And what's that lawsuit going to cost me? $50,000?
Yeah, right.
So I mean, fucking from right there, it's like, oh, that would put us in the red for doing the news for the next couple of years. Yeah.
Wait. Okay. So then, how would you rate the Brandon? Oh shit. Okay. So how would you rate the Brandon experiment so far from the 1 to 10?
I like pros and cons. Yeah. I like that Brandon is more
smart.
Yeah, he's very educated. He's probably like more historically educated than anybody who's ever been on the podcast before. Sure. I can almost compare it to the effect that Mark Lamont Hill has had on the Joe Budden podcast. That being said, he definitely has some stuff to kind of work through. Like he hogs the mic too much. He goes off topic too much. It's like, even like the easiest example is in the I Hypocrite debate. It's like we started trying to talk about Shiloh Hendricks, which is like very of the moment news. And then all of a sudden we're talking about like the Jews building the slave ships. And it's just like, he has a tendency to just go too deep. And that is something that and also it's just like, when we have me, Lush, Aunt Hefe, Munchie B, and him on camera, it's like you just have to be able to be, 20% of the conversation and not like 60% or 70%. It's like you have to be able to share the mic in a way that is a little bit more reciprocal with everybody. And, I'd like to work on that with him more. I'm not, still to this day, I am not sure exactly what role Brandon should have on No Jumper. That being said, I really like podcasting with him, and I think that he's already brought a lot of content to the channel that we really haven't done otherwise. Like he's the first person, like besides him, who would I have felt comfortable putting up against I Hypocrite? I would have had to dig into my Rolodex to try to find somebody who was not part of the platform to debate somebody like that. That being said,
I'll smoke I Hypocrite.
I don't know, man.
I'll smoke I Hypocrite.
But like
smoke him.
Wait, you see, but like we have a view of I Hypocrite's intelligence based on his Twitter. When I seen him talk, or even like when I go back to watch like his YouTube, he's not really like an intellectual. Like he's not somebody who like you look at and you fear. Like for example, Nick Fuentes. Some people fear Nick Fuentes' intelligence, right? Like bro, like you would look at Nick Fuentes and probably shiver at how smart and slick this dude
is. His ability to retain information and
like
facts.
I Hypocrite is more like an everyman racist.
Yeah,
it's like he's an idiot. He's kind of like funny. He's able to like put it together and stuff, but he doesn't have the historical knowledge. Yeah. which Brandon just like used that to just like basically floor him. Like he just had nothing to offer.
The number one issue with I Hypocrite too is just like his Twitter persona is not who he is in real life. He's not able to. He's socially awkward.
It's just that so much of his Twitter persona is like reposting memes and like screenshots of tweets that are like vaguely racist or whatever, which that if it does good, it does good. It is what it is. But like I feel like I've watched a bit of I Hypocrite's YouTube channel and stuff, and I feel like he would have been able to do a better job in that debate if he had realized what direction it was going to go, because I never even sent him a link to Brandon's social media presence.
Okay.
So he was going in completely blind, which is, it didn't feel like Brandon was like super ready for I Hypocrite. Like he didn't really know who the fuck he was going to debate either, but it felt like he was just outmatched.
Well, that's the other thing too. I think moving forward.
And the irony is that I Hypocrite said that he really liked Brandon by the end of it. Well, I mean, they agree on a lot of stuff.
There needs to be a more fleshed out debate format that we actually run with. Like I like
listen. I've done a few debates and they've all also too. Some dudes I feel like from like our past that we kind of like seen and stuff fuck with like Young Pharaoh. Bro, whenever he's been on the platform, he's done like 400,000 plus views, right? But he's somebody who's like, and he was banned from YouTube when he had like 700,000 subscribers. He's somebody who like has debated probably everybody on YouTube.
Yeah, I like him. We should do that, honestly. Like we should try to make it more of a like even like a weekly debate.
Yeah,
I like that,
and just kind of consistently try to get different characters to be part of it and stuff. I think it would be good. That being said, when I see Compa, I'ma probably rob him.
Wait.
I gotta watch out how you setting me up. You're backdooring me, dog. Oh boy.
Well, hey, listen, bro.
That's what we do.
Icon told us.
Hey,
Bro, Icon told us that he's gonna be here in like
woo, perfect. We
Wait,
got time.
seriously?
in like 30 minutes to fuck you up,
Perfect.
bro. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
I was gonna say
No, I
because
did ask Icon to come.
Yeah,
I have
shut
to
up.
go
He said
do.
no.
I have to go
why?
do a plug talk in like any minute now. But
Yeah.
that being said, I mean, what about Icon, bro?
Hey,
He's been
bro, he
through.
backstabbed Icon.
No.
What, Baldacci being your Jason Love is crazy.
But that's
But is that true though, or is that cap?
no.
Yes, because
no.
she's not denying it. So.
No.
And
No.
obviously,
So-
there's a big difference between that situation.
No. So so Baldacci used to talk to Negra apparently in 2008, which was
come
a
on,
good
bro.
10 years.
Dinosaur years
In
up.
2008, 10 years before Icon even met her.
17 years ago.
17 years ago.
I mean,
17 years
it is
ago.
awkward because
You can't even count that as a body anymore.
yeah, like in
Yeah,
this
right.
world that we're in, I mean, like Lush deals with this. I've dealt with this. It's like if you have a girl who's in the scene, she's dating other guys before you, etc. It's like, yeah, they're gonna bang somebody, whatever. I mean, honestly, I don't really like the fact that it was weaponized against Icon. I felt genuinely bad for her just because I don't think a woman should have her sexual history used against her in such a way. That being said, I mean, hey, it's an internet beef. It's war. You know,
No,
shit happens.
But here's the issue with it, right? To me, my biggest issue with it, even beyond just like the gossipy, messy, chisme aspect of it all. What I didn't like is the implication when Rich Homie Juan brought it up was, hey, this is why people are getting blackballed. This is why people aren't getting posted on the food community. It's because Icon was in his feelings and wasn't doing it. Why wasn't Icon posting Baldacci?
But that
Well,
okay, so I said that I thought that it was trashy to basically bring that stuff up as a way to discredit him or whatever, and he actually DM'd me and responded Prime and said that basically the reason why he brought it up was because he wanted to contextualize how he felt like Icon was using his power to go against people or whatever. Icon, part of his response was to say he gave Baldacci like a 8.5 as a rapper or some shit. Like he wasn't, from his perspective, treating him unfavorably.
But that's the thing. Icon had two trump cards. The only thing I was like, damn, this is messy and this is whack that is being brought up. But if Icon is in fact trying to brownball people as a result, that's janky. You feel me? But then when he said not only did he give him an 8.5, which is a very favorable review of a Baldacci album objectively, you know what I mean?
No, but he was rating his rapping, right?
Yeah.
Not
He's
an
like,
album, right?
Yeah, his overall impact as an artist, it was like he gave him an 8.5, which is a
rap
very
report card?
a generous. No, not the rap report card.
okay.
He had his.
He made his own.
He had
The
his
full
own
rap report card?
He had his own because but regardless, he also didn't. He made a really strong point. All you people that feel like you're blackballed by the food community, have
It
you
was
been-
Icon.
Have you? No, this is
It was
Icon
Lush.
talking. This is Icon talking. He said, all you people that are talking about being blackballed, have you been posted once since I've left? Have any of y'all fools been posted once since I left? And no, there's been radio silence ever since then.
Yo, and also too, I thought it was a lie because when you look at what is Negra, right?
Yeah,
Negla. She's doing a No Jumper interview soon.
yeah.
Yo,
I seen her last weekend.
Yo,
Her
like,
Icon.
bro, listen, yo, bro, like, she's way too good looking to be dating the dudes that, like that dude, Al Badoji. I would think a guy like that couldn't touch her with 100-foot pole. Like,
Okay, but this was also 17 years ago,
oh,
so he
okay.
probably looked a little bit better.
Okay.
That being said, he's also a factor where he's from. He's
Yeah.
respected. He's a dude.
Oh, really?
He got his
yeah,
whole
he's not a
damn
nobody
face tatted
at all.
up.
Watch
That-
your words. You guys gonna get attacked.
No, he's the one who's
Yeah, you're gonna get attacked.
He's saying
Guilty
that
as association.
Baldacci ain't hot.
Guilty association.
I'm saying
Again.
Baldacci is totally fuckable.
Again.
What? Whoa.
But Doja probably got hella clout. He's probably a real gangster away from. I'm saying in terms of
Very
looks
much
wise,
so.
Yeah.
those two people are like on two different like atmospheres.
So
in terms
you
of
wouldn't
looks-wise.
fuck him? Is that what you're telling us, Flacco, or what?
He would. Nah.
I don't know how Icon bagged her. You feel me? Like,
Hey, I'd fuck Baldacci before Icon. No offense, but
oh, man.
what?
if I had to fuck one,
Baldacci's in better shape.
I'm sorry, I'm not a chubby chaser. Icon, you're out.
It's probably the money, no?
Wait, though, but Icon is your boy. So when
Yeah,
you
he's
was
my homie.
This is why
you
Raiders
sat there
scandalous.
and allowed him
How
to
am I
do that.
scandalous? No, hey,
You're
we're having a
scandalous.
conversation. We're having a conversation. I'm
Yeah,
just being a
man, but it should
host.
be your-
You know what I mean? Even Blasey hit me up. He's like, hey, man, you didn't do nothing wrong. Anybody's talking shit is because they have envy in you.
That
You know what I
moral
mean? So I was just chopping it up, and I didn't know he was going to bring it up. So we have an Off Facts podcast, and Rich Homie Juan was asked, why is the food community blackballing people?
Yeah.
So he brought up the whole thing with Icon. I didn't know he was gonna bring up Negra. Shout out Negra. She brought up my kids and all that, and I was like, he
that's
went
your
low.
homie's wife, though, man.
But
Like,
hey,
bro,
it's
yeah.
all love. It's all love. I love you, Negra.
Right, like, for example,
I love,
right here, okay, right here, right? Right, for example, right, bro? If I'm, let's say, like, on a podcast,
yeah.
and someone brings up Josh's wife, nigga, bro, chill, bro. Like, this homie's wife.
Ex-wife.
It's, okay, yeah, right?
He's
right?
with Gunner now.
Right, okay, right, but yo, hey, bro,
Not
chill. I understand, bro. Like, y'all got issues, bro, but like that, you know.
But that's bad
the
potty.
homie's
No,
wife,
it's cutting
she-
them off. I've learned
she's
from the
off limits.
master.
Huh?
Hey, it's bad potty.
No,
cutting
it's
people
hold
off
on,
and doing all that.
hold on,
Alright,
hold
To
on.
be fair, big difference between his ex and Negra. She's a podcast host.
Oh,
She's
well.
in the mix.
That makes
But
we're
no,
having
no, no.
content. If I would have shut him up,
Hold
that's
on.
bad potty.
Hold on, though.
Right?
No.
Come on.
You know what's bad potting?
What, fool?
Creating a fucking echo chamber of dick riding cheese may.
Oh, that's what you do, you dick lays all day.
Nah.
Oh,
what I
come
do,
on, yo, that bop.
What I do is push back.
No,
And
you don't.
You
Push
didn't
your
ask.
ass back.
You didn't ask any questions. Good potting. Good potting.
I just
Now,
like
listen,
that.
listen. I feel you for
I
not
was like, whoa.
for not trying to stop
When he
it.
dropped the bomb. I'm like,
I feel you for
whoa.
not trying to stop it, but you could have been like, when was this?
Oh, I just realized Brandon.
But
tried to
then
call
that's
us, so-
egging it on. If I would have asked questions like that, I was like, whoa, he's dropped the bomb. I'm like, oh, I'm
Oh,
gonna step
that's
back. I even said
who
shout out.
was like probably calling me. Yo,
He's
Brandon.
watching us.
I'm literally watching the Brandon slander.
Hey, your master plan worked. How do you feel? Are you proud of yourself? You
Oh,
cost
man.
a black man his job.
Yeah, you got him fired, dog.
I'm really disappointed with Almighty Suspect. It's like, just like I said, but when I first met you guys, I said you guys failed this man because you guys let him get away with so much that he had to have thought he was invincible. Like he couldn't be, let go. We had a great pod yesterday. We had like almost 7,000 people watching without the white man Adam in the room.
Mm.
That was a victory, right? That was like,
What about the white man
okay,
Adam?
now
I'm
we're
white.
looking like a necessary evil. But Lush is to blame. Oh, let me stop there. 'Cause You said I make too many points. Let me stop right there, and then I'll make my next point when you respond to that.
Okay. Oh, wait, what was it? Just basically that you think we gave him too much of a long leash to get away with a bunch of bullshit?
You guys gave him enough rope to hang himself, basically.
I think that you are an agent of chaos who came in here and you basically created a scenario in which you knew how he would react in order to get him fired. Those are dirty, dirty tactics, but I can't lie. I respect the gamesmanship of it because you ultimately did accomplish what I think that you wanted to accomplish in the long run, and you didn't have to hit anybody. You didn't have to fuck your situation up. You came in and you were antagonistic enough to someone who you know does not respond well to that sort of thing, and you caused him to get out of pocket and lose his job.
That's not the case because Lush was correct. We've had several conversations, and I told him I see the potential in Suspect as a podcaster, but 3 or 4 years in, he's going to have to start showing it. Be this great, amazing podcaster that you claim to be. If I'm the person, if you have the job that I want, which is his words, why don't you show me why I want that job? And bro, at the end of the day, just showed that he can dish it out, but he can't take it. He was calling me bees the whole episode. So as soon as I start calling bees back, he flies off the handle. That's not a setup or a plan. That's just being an immature child.
Brandon, do you think that continually bringing the BPS thing though was a bit excessive, considering like that's not really any of the talking?
That's
points?
what Jalise was going with too, because both of them recognize that that's something that he's sensitive about, for obvious reasons.
Listen, the reason why it hurt him when I said it was because there was nothing he could physically do to me. He couldn't intimidate me. In Suspect, This was the first conversation you guys have seen that went like a conversation would go if suspect had this conversation with anyone outside of No Jumper. No Jumper is a controlled situation where he can dominate because he knows no one's coming up there to fight or do anything. But when he runs into someone who is just as committed to like humiliating him as he is to them, now he can't handle it. So all he had against me was, oh, you're gay, you got little shorts. I ran through a list of
Adam's got shorter shorts than you now.
Oh boy.
TVH.
There you go.
These are long shorts for the record, but wait, keep going. Lush wanted to make a bad joke there for a second.
That was on point.
Well, the thing is, Sus leads with this like tough guy, I'll fight people like role. And the problem is, he is exactly who everyone thought he was. You are selectively picking out people who you think you could beat. Because when he's in the room with a bunch of gangsters, his energy changes totally. If he's in the room with 4 extras, Brick Baby, and Munchie B, he's not over-talking people like he was being rude, over-talking Bizarre. Like, I wanted to hear what Bizarre had to say. Sus is so ignorant, he's just over-talking the guest, unless you could even admit that.
I would have liked to have heard more from Bizarre.
And I kept saying, we need to let the guests speak. You might think I over-talk, and I do. But when there's someone who's a bigger personality than me in the room, I know how to shut the fuck up and play my role.
No, I feel it. I mean, yeah, honestly, Sus is always was an over talker and an interrupter and a kind of like get into an argument and then start repeating the same thing over and over and over and over while the other person talks, which is, it's like a clubhouse style of argument, and it doesn't necessarily always end up with the best podcast. But either way, I mean, I'm not trying to kick us back in unnecessarily.
I do commend you, Brandon, for walking away.
If there's a legend in the room like Bizarre, you gotta defer to him and if I ask a question about Detroit, Sus, we don't want to hear about who you know from Detroit. We want to hear his perspective, and that's what that guy doesn't understand. You are not the biggest personality in the room all the time. Relax. And that's where Lush failed as a moderator, plus the person who asked to have this battle. He was too scared of Sus to shut his boy.
Hold on, dickhead. You were the one that fucking wanted this. Hold on, I'm cutting him off. I'm cutting him off.
One mic. Go.
Okay, go.
No mics.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm cutting him off because that's a fucking lie. You asked for this shit first, player.
Let me ask you a question, Lush. When we were in that debate with Viral Way, did you not hear Viral tell me, hey, shut up, let him get his point across? Did you not hear Viral Way tell me that?
Absolutely.
He's my homie. He could tell me, hey, shut the fuck up. Let this dude get his point out. As a homie, you should have more control over suspect. You should have been like, hey, man, you over talking right now, because that's something that only a homie could say to him.
Lush can't say that. He doesn't want to get beat up again.
No, to be honest, if you watch the episode back, I literally, I did my best to moderate a 6-person panel.
Lush, he begged you to talk like 4 times. You said, bro, moderate. Can I talk, Lush?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he was already speaking for like 58%, if not more, of the podcast. So, and I
58, such a random number.
I know, right? Like,
is that
I'd say 60.
63, not from 63rd%. Like,
yeah, but also too though, I do think though that this conversation is kind of unfair to Sus to like have Brendan call in to talk about Sus, but then Suspect won't be able to call in to defend himself.
It's called Sus.
I mean, yeah.
It's called Sus. Make it fair.
But I'm saying that I never schemed on this dude to get him fired. Bro got himself fired when he decided to bring a weapon. It's just like the Carmelo Anthony situation.
Just like a murder.
Decided to sneak a weapon past security. You forfeited your job. You couldn't get away with that shit at Walmart. Adam, come on, let's be real.
No doubt. I mean,
how does security like not catch it though? Like, did he go outside after?
Well, it's not like they're cavities.
Did
they even search you guys?
Yeah.
I got
this. He did his job, Adam. The security did his job. Sus kept getting up, leaving the studio room. And that's when he went out to go get that knife.
Whoa. Can't say
To be
that.
fair, no, well, like I don't. Like, to be fair, he did leave the pod.
Do we know that he didn't hoop it?
Oh.
We
The
don't
gangster
know.
pocket.
3 knuckles deep. Hood pocket.
The gangster pocket.
No shots, but if you hooped it, we can't really blame the security.
Or even,
And you might need to go to the doctor because you're going to die of an infection from the poop knife.
or even put the poop knife. Is
Oh, wait,
crazy.
you didn't get stabbed, right?
Or even put it under his foot.
He went out while the security was at the door watching the studio, the room.
Yeah.
He went out pretending like he's going to the bathroom. And that's when he got the weapon.
I mean,
This
I'm a
is a
person with a lot of experience with sneaking knives into places where you're not supposed to have knives because I'm a bitch who doesn't want to have to fight anybody and would rather stab somebody. So
Fair enough.
there are a variety of ways. You could go with the shoe. You could put it right under your belt buckle so that when they frisk you, they're not going to feel it. There's a lot of options that you have. And then you could always hoop it.
Well, especially
The gangster
he said,
pocket?
He said, but Brandon said it was a Swiss Army knife. That's small as fuck.
He got it after the fact.
Wait, was it seriously a Swiss Army knife?
It was like a large size Swiss Army knife.
That sounds insane. What the
What?
What
Whoa.
he said.
It was so
He
gay.
said-
It was so
It was like
gay.
a sword?
Wait.
Security was like laughing at him.
No, it's like
It was that big?
You're going to stab you with the screwdriver by
a
accident.
large size Swiss Army knife is not big, Flacco.
How big is it?
Stab you with
Small.
the wine cork by accident.
Yeah.
There's like so many options on there.
Adam,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
the-
be
the
real with
beer
you. All
opener.
jokes aside, and not trying to overtalk. How good would it be as a boss to say, you know what, I could leave for 2 weeks with my wife, have these guys in the room together, getting 7,000-8,000 views on a live stream, and they're handling it like men when I'm not in the room. That's what we had yesterday. And Suspect let his ego ruin that for everybody. He didn't care about anybody else in that moment, not even his best friend Lush. He just said, this is about me. It's all about Dodson, my ego. Bro, you won. You got to talk about tiny shorts. You was roasted. Why not just take that victory? The guy's just bipolar or something.
I hear Hellcat wants to call in, so let's.
Okay. All right.
Brandon, we appreciate you. Congratulations on getting another black man fired. You did what you were. Probably,
Nah,
He
man.
secured his
Agent of
job. He
chaos.
secured his job.
Agent of Chaos.
Hairlines are as distinct as fingerprints.
Wait, what?
What?
I said hairlines are distinct as fingerprints.
Yeah, mine's distinct because I went to Turkey. But anyway, all right, we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you, bro.
Okay, is there, Adam, is there any way that in the future, Sus, if he because the main thing we want.
Yes, if it's remote or if he is wearing a straight jacket.
Okay.
So
Oh,
wheel
he
him
said
in
yes,
like
he
Hannibal
said yes.
Lecter.
So I want Sus to hear that there is a potential reconciliation in the future. I would really hope that he doesn't crash
What
out.
if we
in the interim.
created a phone booth that like a glass tank?
Yeah, it's possible. A padded
Yo,
room.
boot your
bruh.
computer. Yo, listen,
I'm watching things.
Hey,
Stud.
Hellcat. Whoa, wait. Hey, listen, bro. Hellcat a real nigga, man. She not no stud, bro. Feel me, man? Like, cut it out. You feel me, man? All right, man. Man, hey, listen, Cat. I be real, man. Where you at? Why haven't you come back, man? It's been like 3 months.
What the helly?
Cliff was just hitting me.
what
He
the
wants to come
hell?
back out
What
soon.
the helly?
All right, man, boy.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
Let me tell you something, Flacco. Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Let's talk about it. Now, I understand Adam is a businessman, and he's going through a lot of bullshit
There
right
he
now.
is.
You know? What up, Adam?
Hello.
All right, so Adam's a businessman. He's going through a lot of bullshit, lawsuits and all that shit. I get that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You have to protect the brand no matter what. But why are y'all sitting on this podcast blaming Suspect? And I'm not being biased because he's my homeboy. I'm really telling y'all really what's going on. Because I mean, I feel like I would feel the same way. Okay? Like, y'all are saying Sus had a weapon. Y'all got me in a room with a nigga that got a black belt. He is a weapon. He is a 9mm at any given moment, right? And he's being very aggressive when he's speaking right now to me. He's been very vocal ever since he's been viral. Matter of fact, yesterday he was more vocal with Suspect than he was that white boy that he was supposed to get in his ass while they were debating.
No, they share the same ideology. Why would he hate him?
Hold on, Lush. Now, you know I fuck with you too, Lush. But
No,
Let
you're
her
my
cook.
dog,
y'all
Helly.
not hitting the real points. Y'all got this man in a fucking room.
You know it's a bad idea. It was a bad business move anyway. Like, what y'all thought they was going to do, read the Bible?
I mean, they could have done a podcast, which is what they did for like 3 hours before it cracked off.
And I understand that, but y'all not holding Brandon accountable for shit. All suspect ruined the no, nigga.
Okay, it's fair to say, Hellcat. It's fair to say that Brandon was being a little aggressive and confrontational as a podcaster. That being said, in terms of violations, that's not even a violation. You're allowed to be an aggressive confrontational podcaster. Suspect did that almost every time he was ever on camera. The weapons and the to be a black belt. You're not allowed to attack someone. Now, if Brandon had used his black belt skills to put someone in a rear naked choke or, snap their arm in half, now we're talking.
He's 36 in a karate class. We know.
All I'm saying is Brandon is a weapon himself.
But he didn't use the weapon.
If suspect would have said, I don't want to pause, that would have been worse than him showing up.
No, he could have just said that, and then he wouldn't have showed up, and then they would have done the podcast without him. It would have been totally fine.
5 other people.
Yeah, it would have been all right.
No, but the public. That's from your perspective, though, Adam. But from the people, the public's perspective, you scared. You a bitch ass nigga. Yeah, Brandon got you. It's a lynch mob. They do go through every day. It's weird being the most hated.
I empathize with that, but ultimately, it's the violence is the thing.
I get called that. Listen, I get called that and all the time, and every time. Like, I don't care, bro. If I don't like somebody, I'm not showing up. You feel me? Right? So, like, yeah. No.
But in your case, you Flacco. You gonna call the police on a nigga. You not showing up is totally different from Almighty not showing up. And bro didn't go in there with being friendly. That nigga came in there like with some, oh man, you got put off. You balled up in a fetal position. Like, you're aggressive, bro. You're already a black belt and 2 times bigger than me. Shit, nigga, I'm on the defense already.
I mean,
y'all did start off though.
Solid point.
Yeah, she has solid point.
Wait though, Cat, wait though. But y'all did start off though by calling him a nobody and claiming that like he's a nobody ass nigga and like he's only here because of the moments with sus. So like the antagonist again, like both sides start to antagonize first.
But there is a big difference, Flacco, than calling somebody a nobody or like juvenile insults and being like, oh, you got beat within an inch of your life. You're not from
juvenile insults though, bro.
No, it's not. If you're like,
oh, you got jumped. Listen, if I'm suspect, I'm having the exact same like response, nigga, bro. Like, so what, bro? Like, we all get jumped. Like, so what? You feel me? Yeah. Oh, nah, come on.
I can't whoop you, and I don't want you to grab me. I'ma spit a big old hawker right in your fucking face.
Man.
I might can't beat your motherfucking ass or do what I want to do.
Yeah.
You're not gonna handle me so rough in front of you. Already went viral and you got rewarded for treating me like a whole ass nigga. You on the Whack and Adam show. You debating with goddamn me the white racist. You understand? You got completely rewarded.
Both white racists.
Okay, Hellcat, we're gonna do these donations real quick before I gotta get off of here, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, Cat, peace out.
I feel like you read all of them. Or
I'm gonna do them right here. All right. Shout out to 22OWTM for becoming a member. Shout out to Tony Demand TTT for becoming a member, and shout out to Shibaka Miles for becoming a member, and then shout out to Pat Wooey for resubscribing for 1 month. He said, "Free sus, take Flacco in his place." Okay.
He said Fatco. He said Fatco.
He did. I was going to censor it. But, okay. And then Smack Pack said, "Adam, you lame as hell. You knew there was tension with them. They should not have been on the pod together. Adam, you a 304. Adam used Brandon to do his dirty work." It's cute that you thought up this whole theory right there. However, it actually is completely at odds with what happened in reality. CW said, "Not saying sus is right, but Brandon is hella argumentative and aggressive for clicks. It's pretty obvious. And he's zesty. Keep him off the channel, please." Well, I never really got a zesty vibe from him. And that being said, being argumentative and aggressive can be annoying. It does not fall into the same category as violence, which is
zesty. What?
Really?
He's like a takeaway from Dijon.
We all met his girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean that he doesn't get pussy. A lot of zesty guys.
And he has another girl in like Africa. Like this nigga, like
shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you do.
A girlfriend?
Well, a wife. He has 2 wives.
But he's not even from Africa. How the fuck's he got one in Africa? It's like a Make-A-Wish
He's
kid?
a Pan-African.
He goes back like probably like once a year. Like
Oh, that's fat. I got to talk to him about that.
He owns real estate out there. He owns
Yeah.
multiple properties. Yeah.
And he has kids.
He's
out
a
there.
racial separatist. You don't understand this,
What a
Adam. Yeah.
fascinating individual. That's insane. I
I
had
need
no
to run my
idea.
debate back with him.
He has kids out there, which
All
is
right.
kind of crazy.
All round Clips Universal sent $20. Said, "Hey man, Flacco needs to shut the fuck up. He just tried to set 607 up with Whack, and he only talks crazy to Lush."
Well,
Flacco, you talk crazy to me?
Unc said that Brick Baby set him up, not even me. So I don't even know where they're coming from. And no, bro, Lush calls me a fag like almost like every podcast.
Flacco is a fag, but I love him. You feel me? Like
Yeah,
we don't stand on formalities.
Yeah.
I love all the facts.
Well, no, I'm not a fag, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's debatable.
C Hustle said, "Lush, stop the word salad. You brought attention to their situation. All you had to do is finish the topics and end the show. The show was good until then." I don't understand why.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever
Yeah,
heard.
why would there be an expectation that you wouldn't talk about the issues between them? If anything, the video was titled them going
talked about it, though.
getting into their
No,
issues.
they didn't.
And they
no,
moved on after
no.
2 hours.
Hold on.
you
When did they
brought
talk
back up.
about it? They literally wasn't brought up. On all I wanted to say was that it was really it was a misunderstanding, and I'm glad that people were able to move past it and be mature. But you know what? I guess sometimes in the future we're gonna really have to implement like they used to do in Fight Club battles and have a pool table between people or some shit.
I like it. Gerald Bravlowski said, "I ain't gonna lie, spit once, okay, but you can't just be spitting on people. It's disgusting. My boy Lush caught some of that spit too. LOL. Did you? No, because Brandon said he
Where did
didn't
it
actually
land?
get
Where did
spit
it
on.
land?
I didn't see any of this spit, but my first thought when he spit was like, damn, I'm kind of close to this spit. Like, I wonder if, like, because if that were the case, I would have just have to uphole and just, like, smoke everybody. You feel me? If, like, spit.
It's kind of your fault, though. As a referee, you should have stopped the B word. Tell them both.
Nah, but,
You know
like,
what I mean?
but the consensus was set early in the pod. Like, I guess, you know, I'm not going to say anything was my
referee, you know?
fault.
This was
But
really
it-
Spitgate 2.0 because
Yeah.
recall
It's like 16 shot in part 2.
in him. Yeah.
Yeah.
That really set the
And y'all
precedent.
did like 5 interviews like with that nigga afterwards. But though, like, we're
I did
cool now.
0.
One maybe.
No, he did 2 afterwards. No, but though we have like a podcast coming out soon. So
Yeah, 16 is cool.
right,
That's
like
debatable. Mio sent $5. Said Brandon was trying to provoke him for 2 hours, throwing low key shots. Now Flacco's trying to side with Brandon because he's scared of suspect. Call it like it is.
Well, if he was trying to side with Brandon,
yeah.
that comment doesn't even make sense.
Listen, I called out both sides because again, right, like I said what suspect did wrong. I said what Brandon did
What
wrong.
did Brandon do wrong? Because you haven't said that on the pod today. You've just been glazing the whole time.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Cuts and balls.
No. So one, I do feel like he can be a smartass. He can be annoying. He can antagonize. But what I said was just like Andrew Wilson. They're both smartasses. They both antagonize verbally, and they would challenge your argument. But it's the job of whoever like their opponent is to stay stoic and to not, like do certain things or fall into the,
Like,
Okay.
you remember when I was on the whatever pod and I walked out?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
I was so mad at the person that I was arguing with, who we
Okay.
shall not name, that I was like, if I stay here for another couple minutes, I'm going to jump across the table and attack this dude. So what do? I got up on my ass and I left. And I got hell for it because I walked out of there. But ultimately, I respected their podcast and I did what I thought was the adult thing to do, which was getting the fuck out of there
I'm
before I did
surprised
something
that-
I didn't want to do.
I'm surprised that you thought that it was going to go any other way, even going on that pod, considering
Well,
like,
that's not. I
Well-
did not know that person was going to be on there. So
no,
you're missing the
yeah.
storyline.
No,
there.
I got you.
with the right, and then two, even like and like him walking out and getting like the shit for it. A lot of people, because I don't know if they haven't been on the internet like long enough. Yo, like these moments don't really like last. Listen, bro, like if you have a moment where like folks is calling you a punk or scary or pussy,
Yeah, you forget in a week. Yeah.
yeah, right. Which is why, like, bro, like I don't really take nothing. You feel
no,
me?
but okay. So Raider,
All right, I just want to keep getting through these donations real quick. So Mina's reactions, Clout Mania TV said free Brick Baby. That's right. That's right. Travis Tillard said, Adam, I love the S&M jersey, but I hate the decision on Suspect. I think you should keep him for music and or for something else. Fan decision? Question mark. At this point, I just don't think that is a conversation that I'm really like willing to have. To me, this is like the most obvious firing imaginable. Really, like the only time I really had to let a host go, aside from the Lush situation, which took place on camera. That being said, you know, who knows what the future
You got fired?
holds.
Nigga, like twice.
When?
You get fired.
When, fool?
You should have
You had your
been.
shows canceled, but you never got fired.
You
No.
should have been fired, arguably.
I got fired once.
I don't
I'm
like
sorry.
Trump firing everybody.
You,
off the building.
Flacco doxed the building and didn't get fired.
True.
I got fired twice, but I'm back.
Also got me, basically set me up with some dudes that shit on me, and that went insanely
No, you
viral.
told those dudes to come with the Fat John situation. And they just came back because at that point...
Because you invited them. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that,
Yeah, okay.
you know, there would have been, if I was going to fire you, that would have been a good time to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dot Focus sent $10, said, men should never navigate with their emotions. Always leads to destruction. Very wise, Confucius. Travis Tillard also said, also, bro, a lot of us were waiting hours for that interview yesterday because it was sus and dying laughing during the roast.
It was
I believe
funny
it,
as
yeah.
fuck. It was funny.
Smack Pack said, Adam, did you use Brandon to get sus out of character because you wanted to fire him but wanted a good reason to? You used Brandon as a crash dummy. You're literally just rehashing the argument that I tried to use on Lush already. So, no, that is not what I
And
did.
they used it on me too, which is cool.
I have already seen that narrative on literally everyone in this room besides Raider.
Shaq the Tycoon said, bring 607 Unk to the news. If Unk moves out here, definitely I'd like to have him be on the platform more. And we're going to be, if you become a member, you can go watch all of his episodes that he already filmed, and he's going to be filming a lot more.
Are those dropping for regular more people as well?
Soon. Nate Brooks said, Brandon set the tone and started it all by saying, I wore shorts in case I had to beat somebody's ass. That was the first punch.
That's a fact.
Talking about your shorts is not the same as attacking someone.
No, but he like so
Put the idea in the area. I feel it.
he did mention it, and then like when Sus came back in, changed the energy.
Understandably. C Hustle said, this is another Lush bad decision. Get this dude Compa off.
Oh, I hate her.
Thomas said, Rich Trapper said that he got the knife footage from Flacco.
Yo, when I sue the fuck out that bitch ass
You know
nigga,
that's not true.
bruh, I'm gonna bankrupt that nigga so bad, bruh. Feel me?
As much as I like seeing Flacco squirm, we know that wasn't Flacco because he don't deal with homosexuals.
Yeah. BMX 1803 said, man, free sus, no jumper for the streets. You can't fire the gangsters. Fire the BBBW who was dry snitching. Listen, that is not, you got us fucked up if you think that we are prioritizing gangsterism. Chubb said, low vibration podcast, they would snitch on their own mans. And why Compa back here? Ha ha ha, SMH sellouts.
Find out as we starve it up.
King Joffer said, Funky Fred masterminded this whole play. He never forgot sus bullying him. He sent Brandon like a missile. Well played, big whatever. I don't agree with that at all.
That's fucking probably the truth.
Robert Sand said, bottom line, I feel sus bragging to Brandon about getting through security yesterday and alluding to sneaking in a pipe alone was a fireable offense. Yeah, that's not great. Definitely we don't know. Anybody like flagrantly flaunting being able to break the security protocols is really not doing things that are going to be leading them to having a long career here. Okay, C Loco Media said Flacco and Brandon are some race baiters that use the same play every time, and Compa Faker is a useless follower. Get him some knee pads.
Whoa.
Just like investor knee pads.
Oh, shit. I got to get some.
All right.
They're going to come out.
Demon
live.
Time Exotic sent $10, said, well, why not try up-and-coming podcasters like myself that are controversial but understand podcasting, not connected to gangs? Why not help break podcasters and new personalities, switch it up? That is literally just what we were saying that we were going to do. So, yeah, we definitely want to try to figure out a bunch of people to have on. Remo just said Trump pardoned Larry Hoover.
Let's go, Trump!
Shit! Let's
Free
go!
the real.
They done let the GDs in the dough.
Out the dough.
Out the dough.
Big Trump, dog.
Fucking
Wait,
Larry
wait, he
Hoover's
did
home,
what?
bro. Hey,
We could talk about that. I just want to finish these before I got to dip out.
I'm GD now.
Smack
Throwing
Pack
up
he
said
bad.
Bizarre wasn't there for an interview. Brandon wanted to interview him. Bucci Bear is gay. Okay. CW said, Adam, if Sus is gone, then Brandon needs to be gone too. People are not interested in him race baiting, and he knows nothing about hip hop. Get him out. I disagree with that, but
Well, I will say it was pretty funny, like what he said. So, per my understanding, T Grizzly. I was like, shut the fuck up.
no. The funny thing is that okay, so I ran into the clips at the airport, which it just so happens that they were going to sign with Rock Nation because Rock Nation's putting out a new Clips album, I believe.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking in my head, I'm like, this is kind of strange that Malice and Pusha T are boarding a flight at midnight on a Friday night.
Well, you literally you saw them like
Yeah, there was a clip on my Instagram story of me saying hi to him and stuff.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. But
Those are heroes of mine.
yeah, and I sat in economy and they sat in first class, which is really how it's supposed to be. That being said, but that was what stood out to me from Brandon as being the fucking worst argument that he made. Is like, oh, Jadakiss. I don't respect Jadakiss because Jadakiss threw a big fit about the label or whatever, but then meanwhile, like Pusha T didn't do none of that when Pusha T and then went on like a 5-year campaign to get off a jive. That was like right there. I was like, okay, you might be really, really good at the history stuff, but your hip hop knowledge.
And I'm sorry to the fans, but the Crackers weren't playing fair at jive.
Come on. Okay, Hugh Down 713 said it's no one's fault but Sus. Sus always acts on emotion and not intelligence. No comment. Mr. Johnny Cox said all I've seen on No Jumper comments is that people don't like Brandon, yet you keep them on there. If Sus got to go, get rid of both. Bring Sus back. Keep it. Whatever. My thing about that is that there are a lot of people who the people didn't really care for at first, and you really need to like jam somebody down people's throats over and over and over to get like an actual gauge of how much they like them. So I do agree that like probably having Brandon on the Tuesday show every week might be a little excessive, but that being said, I do think he definitely has a future on this
It's
podcast.
just so funny the way our fan base and No Jumper works because everybody hated.
It's so fragmented.
No, everybody hated Sharp, right? And as soon as Sharp was like in a victim role or going against No Jumper, everyone hops on his dick.
That being said, I don't think anybody's really on his dick.
Well,
just Lush.
He's doing like 5-hour
me.
live streams. He does 5-hour live streams that have like 7,000 views by the end of it.
I just surpassed him in views.
I mean, yeah, I see you being thirsty and fucking making videos about this conflict on your channel last night. You saw how well that worked out for Trell and AD, right?
Ooh.
Wait,
I will put your ass in the guillotine.
Listen. I am just
getting
trying
checked right now, fool.
to do my thing to make sure that I'm a valuable asset to this motherfucking company, Adam.
No, you are taking the content from
Yes.
this platform and then you're immediately going home. I think you were in
Where'd you
the
get that
car and then you're
Exactly.
fucking basically making a bunch of content out of it
Come on,
because
Lush.
you are
Come on,
looking to
Lush.
benefit yourself and not the business.
Get greedy, Lush.
Well, all I'm doing, no. It benefits the business for Lush to be a joint out here. And Lush is doing whatever the fuck he can to be the most important. That's why I'm number one
Keep
in this
it up.
motherfucker. That's why I am the biggest joint in this bitch. Because I've been going hard.
All right, I got 3 more. Alcoholic Gamer, who is a consistent presence on this channel, said, cherry vodka and grape Kool-Aid. Enjoy drinks on me. You need a new host, Adam. It's time to bring Jack Like Jess, the greatest guest on the platform, back there. What a thing to even think about. How does Alcoholic Gamer donate every single stream, but he's not a member?
And you know,
I want to see that basketball next to your name, motherfucker.
yeah, Alcoholic Gamer, you're tripping, first of all. But we would love Jack Like Jess back.
That's my guy.
For
man.
sure.
That's a great man, but Lush is going to have to bend him over. He's fully out of the closet, bisexual now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Now's my time to shoot my
Might
shot.
be time for you.
Yeah.
Mina's reaction, Club Mania TV said, Krusty the Clown emoji, aka Sharp, is somewhere stalking and laughing in his little hole in Las Vegas. He stay rocking with the mole people
Sharp
of Las
gonna do
Vegas.
Wait, we're gonna do a classic live stream tonight, man. But come on, bro. Listen, I haven't watched a Sharp live stream in like I'll say like a month, but I'm tapping in tonight.
If I was Sharp, you know what I would do? I would literally do a whole video taking one of my torsos on a date with the fucking Stevie Wonder song, Isn't She Lovely? And I would like take her shopping. I would take her to a Ruth Chris.
If he had that kind of sense of humor, then he probably wouldn't be in the predicament he's in right now.
Unfortunately, right?
And then Sticks and Stones LA said, Brandon's a real one. Sus and Lush are both marks, period. Brandon kept his composure long enough.
Sticks and Stones is one of Brandon's friends that donates. Thank you, Sticks and
okay.
Stones. We appreciate you.
And then
brother.
Mina Reactions, Club Mania TV again said, Sharp's over there being a gigolo. That's how his Vegas bills are paid, period. I don't think there's anyone paying him for dick.
No. This person, Mina, is in every single stream donating like quite generously.
I appreciate
talking
her.
about how
I don't think
is
Sharp's a gigolo.
Well, what she means is he's not really a pimp. He slangs dick. He does the same thing that Big Church was admonished for by him. He is essentially Robert the toe sucker.
And then JJ said Sus already playing Barbie again. For the record, he never actually played the Barbie game. That was a troll that I was fooled by.
That
as
was
well.
funny.
Okay. That being said, I got to go do plug talk, but in order for us to not have to change the title, you guys definitely got to at least get through the Fabio and the Lefty Gunplay stuff. Although maybe we should change the title anyway because it's like realistically, this title's not really indicative of what we actually talked about.
Free suspect. As far
Free
as I'm
suspect,
concerned.
dog.
You feel me? Free
Probably would have
suspect.
more viewers right now if we had actually titled this stream appropriately, but that would involve some level of insight or oversight from the managerial side.
I got calls
AKA
from
Josh.
I got calls from Whack, Rifleman LA Cool, everybody.
Don't even get me started on Whack.
Yo, Wack called me too like last night. No, Wack had a pretty good take.
No, Whack had probably the worst take ever. He calls me telling me we got to fire Brandon. I'm like, so Brandon just got spit on and had a knife pulled on him, and you're telling me that Brandon is the one who needs to get fired. Like, Whack, you could not possibly be more transparent with how much you're just playing favorites with the people that you like and don't like. That being said, I think Whack is very, very intimidated by Brandon because he now knows, like, previous to that, Whack felt like he could beat everybody up in the office, right?
But
I think with the introduction of Brandon, he no longer feels that way.
no, he knows that Brandon for sure because we know Whack will beat Brandon's ass, but Brandon will call the police. You see what Brandon did? He has a knife. He has a knife.
You think Whack would beat up Brandon?
Yeah,
Glazer.
I think Whack would beat his
But like,
ass.
Wack never told me
Glazer.
that like he wanted.
You're
any
glazing
fire.
Brendan.
Wack just said, we need to do a better job, Neff, at making sure that situations like this don't happen. So maybe that.
I agree with that in a general
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
And I'm sure he was calling me to be like, "Oh, Lush, this is somehow all your fault." You feel me?
Kind of is.
In zero
Come on,
capacity.
man.
But
No,
you know
Wack
what?
did say
I'll
it
take
was
it.
my fault.
It's my fault. And then what? You
You
feel
got
me?
sus
Like,
fired, fool.
No,
Nah,
no.
I
Wack
tried to
said-
I tried to elevate sus to a higher level of the podcast
Can you
game.
switch the chat over?
Yeah. No, Lush, no. Wack did say that it was my fault because I brought Brandon into the building.
I agree.
Which, to be honest, I brought a few people because I thought the people would fit. Which, to be honest, bro, Brandon was a good contribution.
I think
I agree.
by far you deserve accolades for bringing Brandon through,
I agree.
despite whatever destruction he might have caused.
Viral is a good contribution to me.
For sure.
I
And
agree.
I have a few more people coming through that I feel like you will love.
Brandon has introduced a whole new element of keeping things interesting on this podcast. You cannot say that it's been boring over the last month or so.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, look, right? Okay, so look. Here's my last request, okay, Adam? Can I have an upgrade entitled to assistant hiring manager?
No.
Right?
On LinkedIn?
Josh said no.
Where would this matter?
Yes, LinkedIn.
No.
Where I bring the people to you or test them out here, and then you say, okay, yeah, this person is great. Okay, Flacco, here's a check for one good person that you brought.
A finder's fee.
Right? Because again, it's a job with no real duty, but just what I'm already doing. But it's a it's a low title for
I'm
my
open
resume.
to the possibility. That
Yeah.
being said, I feel like one thing that I would be willing to compensate you for financially is if we actually do this weekend lock-in streamer survivor episode where we basically have a bunch of people here and
Can we do
whittle them down.
What if we all get to submit people for that?
No. Wait. No. And here's my idea for that, okay? So there's a price, let's say like $5,000, right? And it's a big,
Or just a no jumper contract.
yeah, right? And guess what? It is a big brother type shit, right? Where it's kind of like we're all here for like a week and we do challenges and then we vote people out. And then the last two people who's left, the fans vote for who they want to win.
I like it, but I also want it to really have like a frat type vibe where I want to
Hazing.
physically torture them.
Yeah,
I
I
want
like
to
that.
I want to stab them. I want scalding hot water
Knock 'em
dumped
up.
on their head while they sleep. I feel like we need to really break them down.
We need the Buka
body
Buka
shots
challenge.
though.
We got poop on their head.
The
Yeah,
Buka
right.
Buka challenge.
Oh, listen.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Look, right. Okay, so how about this? Okay, we do that as at the challenges and every day, and the person who let's say wins that challenge, they get immunity where like they can be voted out, and then the
I
rest.
don't really want to poop on anybody, but that being said, we got to figure out something.
come on.
I like the idea of us just doing the lock-in thing, even though there is no shower, so it would get pretty stinky pretty quick.
Is there like
We take a hose.
is
out
there
in the parking lot.
a porta potty equivalent to a shower?
A porta potty doesn't have a shower in it. It's
No,
a
like
toilet.
the shower equivalent.
Oh, when
So like
Shaw
a
fucks
portable-
you up, man, is
A portable shower that can be brought to.
Bird shower.
Portable shower, or we can just hose them down.
Bird shower.
I thought you meant like that was gonna be okay. Sorry,
Oh, you thought you mean
that
because
was
Sharp
this,
drinks
so-
pee?
so-
Oh, you were
so-
talking about because Sharp likes to drink pee.
I have
You're
been
right,
talking
he
about
does.
this idea for a while, so people
Yeah.
are already like comparing it to the fucking streamer university
Nah, this has
thing.
been like a year coming.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while. Obviously, whatever we do is not going to probably compare to the crazy level that Kai is doing his shit on.
Or
yeah.
can we rent out?
How is Kai making money off of the fact that everybody is streaming on that? Like, it's not even all going
He
to
don't
his...
make money. No.
Does
No.
he have sponsors on it?
No, man. No.
That wasn't sponsored at all.
No, right? And, like, he ain't even stream, right? So
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, right. So like, and he said, "Yo, I want for all the attention to go to y'all." And there's people in like who came in with like 1,000 followers,
Uh-huh.
and they left with like 230,000 followers and on Twitch.
Bro,
Damn.
the most depressing thing on earth is T-Rail streaming on Twitch to like 20 people under the streamer university like category.
Nah, man, he didn't do that.
Is he
man.
No, he
that?
actually is. Those people sent me screenshots of that.
Also, I mean,
Yes, no, this is a real thing.
I mean, on top of that, it was
What,
Like,
he
bro,
wasn't
you are
there?
44.
Damn.
it was
You
recently.
ain't
brought-
cooking with Kaya. I'm sorry. All right, I gotta go bang some cheeks. Appreciate you guys, and we are entering a new era. That's all I can say.
Well, it's the same old era, but just one host is gone.
That's a slight change to the era.
Flock were the
that
last
was,
ones.
But that was a host who had a very dominant persona to a certain extent. Not that he was on every show, but he was, you know.
And he was loyal too.
And honestly, like I'll say, we know the way this game moves, and we know how fast it, like the news cycle
He'll be
reoccurs. I think that if he doesn't
back.
crash out, doesn't talk shit about No Jumper, and just plays it cool, there is a chance for re-entry.
in like a year.
That's
Like,
my
you can have
opinion.
like a reunion, like podcast interview with him, just like you did with Lush.
You never know.
Yeah.
Never know.
Right? Come on. Feel me? Okay, man. Lefty Gun. Wait, first, before that, yo, Compa.
Yeah, Compa,
yo,
the bad homie,
wait.
the icon.
No. Past that, you lied to us, Compa.
How did I lie?
You said the watch snatching of the.
Oh, that's
homie-
fake.
No, you said it never happened.
It never happened.
There's a video
Ooh, show it. Show it.
at Compa.
Show it.
But we
Show
seen
it.
the video like
Show
during the
it.
interview.
Show it.
No, I
show
don't have
it.
it.
Show the receipt.
No, I don't have it, but we seen the video during like the interview with like.
And you
Big-
saw me.
No, you wasn't there.
You saw me.
No.
Oh.
All right, appreciate
It was your homie
What, homie?
who came out to like.
This is
Because-
fake news, brother.
No, Big
fake
Robin-
news.
Fake news,
news.
brother.
Super Robin them has the
Oh,
video.
fake
Compa.
news. And why would you want to incriminate anybody?
No, but
What are you
told
talking
us that-
about?
That, like,
What are you
it wasn't
talking about?
True. And like
It's not true, because
I seen the
word of my
watch,
mother
too,
is not true. You know why? Because I don't know no one that got robbed. No one. In my circle or anything. People get robbed every day. I don't know. I don't
Compa.
know. Word of my mother.
Compa. There's a video. Okay, just tell us. Okay, so
Let's
are
see
you
the video.
saying that? Wait, are you saying that it's not true because you don't want to be on no police stuff and on some
No,
criminal?
it's just
Because there's the video that exists, and they actually has the watch that they took from in the video, right? Like, so like it's kind of like you
so
know,
if I was to say, hey man, someone got robbed in your circle,
yeah.
and you don't even know that guy. People get robbed every day. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but the place
You
that
know
they
what I
were
mean?
at, though,
Fake
is
news.
connected to you, right?
Huh?
Okay.
Fake
hey, Compa.
news.
Hey, listen, man.
You're doing police work.
No, I'm just saying, bro. I was disappointed, bro, because I was on a live stream saying, man, Compa, man, that's
You
my
still
guy,
believe it. You still believe that.
I mean, I
Then
seen
you
the
believe in
video.
Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy.
I seen the video during like the Cuban Rob interview, and they showed the video, and they showed the everything, and they showed the watch, and I'm like, bro, like,
So people don't get robbed every day.
but it was your homie that
Yeah,
that,
well, homie, let me see. Let me see the video. Show the video.
but we
Show the video.
we can't show it because like it's police,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
There's no. It's fake news, guys. Sorry.
That's why we can't show it, or it's 'cause you don't have it.
Yeah, right. You
No,
don't
I'm
have the
saying-
video, dog. Knowing
If I call
you,
Wack right now for the video.
No,
Like,
you're
Wack has the
telling
video,
Okay.
You.
but he won't show it live.
But
man.
listen. You bang 12 gang, no?
Hell,
Right. You bang the 12 gang. You bang that
I
shit.
banged Team 12. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you would have showed it if there was one.
No, hell nah. I want no problems with them. But with them
Yeah, exactly.
boys,
So
bro.
like, why make fake news? Why make fake story? Why make fake beef?
Okay.
You know.
Hey, listen though,
right.
but though, wait.
I come
but
in
though-
peace, dog.
But though, I am proud of Compa because when he came, he was sober. He's in shape. He
Raider
looks
looks
good,
great.
man. His skin glistening, pause,
Glowing,
right?
huh?
lips is moisturized. That
Gracias.
was a thing in the past.
Oh, I was bad.
You feel me?
So
What?
Raider,
What's up?
if you were in suspect situation yesterday,
Okay.
what would you have
The
done?
B word, I gave him props that he didn't swung at right before. I would have first B word. Bing! That's like a big
If
word.
you call somebody, okay, but like,
The B word's big, brother. It's like
if
this
you
in the hood
called
kinda
them,
shit.
wait though, but if you called them the B first, would you react like that when they call you the B back?
I wouldn't say that. I don't play with that
okay,
word,
well,
you know. And
then,
if
yeah.
I slip, I would be like, "Hey, I apologize.
Okay.
It slipped," you know. But if I
He
would've-
didn't slip. He said it.
okay, he was saying so. He was
blatantly,
testing. He was poking the bear, and he snapped. So I don't know. It's just
But don't you think it was kind of janky that like of what Brandon was bringing up regarding like
everything.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
as a
yeah,
referee
yeah,
should have
yeah, that's
stopped it. Hey,
wrong.
stop doing da-da-da. Like, you should've
I
narrated.
tried, but then it's also like makes it more like I did. It was like a weird line to walk because I don't want to make it seem like I'm biased against Brandon, but at the same time I can't let Brandon hold me out because he's taking direct shots at me. So then I feel obligated to defend myself, but I also feel like it was like an interesting dynamic. So it was like when I'm the moderator
okay.
and I'm being attacked.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I'll take responsibility for something I did wrong. I'll take
Yeah,
responsibility.
you should have,
Listen,
brother. 'cause you
Lush,
you're the referee. fool.
Lush, you are the greatest battle rap host of
Ooh.
like all time.
Facts.
So like to say, oh, I tried my best to come on, bro. Like you have
There's been rap battles that I've hosted that ended in fucking gunfire.
sure, but you are a vet at hosting like
Literally,
contentious.
what I just
shit.
said. You heard what I just said. Gunfire.
Yeah,
Like, it happens.
but you know how to like de-escalate as the greatest battle rap
He
host.
could have. He could have
Correct.
just.
Correct.
So
Correct.
you
But-
chose not to de-escalate. You
no,
kinda-
I wanted to de-escalate, but I had to do it in a certain way, and that was made more difficult based on me. what I
got you. On like his, got you. So
what I should have done though.
he was attacking you, which makes it more difficult to try to be on his side. I understand that.
Yeah, that made it more difficult, but I also kind of set the precedent when because I introduced everybody, and when I introduced Brandon, I did it by saying, "This is somebody I just smoked in a debate," so that kind
You
of
brought that energy.
potentially could have put him
brought
on the
that
defense.
energy, like, put him on defense
but me and Brandon are both like, I know his brain, and he knows mine enough to know that he was gonna fucking start roasting me regardless. So I got that shit off before he could.
Hey man, let's move on to Lefty Gunplay. So listen, man, I don't know much about these dudes, so I will sit back and kind of like defer to Compa and you. So Lefty Gunplay says he was taken off a tour from a guy called Peso, which I know Peso, and another guy. Is that Bravo?
Bravo the
Bravo
Bad
Bad
Chaser.
Chaser, yeah.
Oh,
And-
okay, yeah, that's my guy.
and-
Bravo, my
and-
boy. Yeah,
And the
my-
biggest
Santa Fe
artist
Clan.
on the tour, which is Santa Fe Clan, which
Yeah.
is a
It's
different
his
genre.
tour.
Yeah.
Got you. So Lefty said that.
That's a
let's
different
play the clip.
genre of music, but like is undeniably the biggest artist, bigger than Shoreline Mafia. Would you agree with that? Like,
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, by a
Especially
lot.
in Mexico
Industry.
too. Like, man,
Yeah,
that's
they're-
crazy.
took me on
My
my
mom's
tour.
a fan of him.
Wait,
Type shit.
wait. Let's hear it real quick.
Let's hear this.
Too big, that shit
Yeah.
fucked me up, bro.
No.
I was on the Shoreline Mafia tour, bro. On the hood. I don't know who took me off that tour. I apologize, bro, for whatever way I disrespected you, bro. Y'all replaced me with Peso, Bravo. They're my brothers, man. They give you. But how you gonna have Shoreline, OGZ Phoenix, Santa Fe Clan, Bravo, Peso, but no Lefty Gunplay?
Did they tell you why they took you off?
Yeah, because I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying?
It's all right, I'm crazy too.
And I understand. I completely understand. I'm a liability. You never know what you're gonna get, but you know, whoever has me, or whoever's willing to take that risk with me, you know, they're gonna get something special because
Right.
I'm gonna give them my all.
Right.
Whoever takes that risk, you know, with their venue, everybody's scared their venue's gonna get shot up, or
Right.
But it's haters, bro.
And you don't truly always need the industry. You know, you have-
Motherfuckers took me on my tour too.
Okay, so
Okay.
Look.
How old is Lefty Gunplay? 29 years old, right?
31.
Okay, 31 years old?
31.
Oh, okay. At the age of 31 years old, I feel like there's no sympathy for, man,
Doing drugs?
no, like, I'm a liability. Now, I can understand if a 23-year-old has made some mistake, blah, blah, and they don't. But if you're 31 and actively acting a certain way and actively doing certain things and pushing certain lines, then there's no sympathy for people choosing, especially a tour like y'all just said, they're bigger than the Shoreline Mafia. So if they're bigger than Shoreline Mafia, they're huge. So a tour that's that professional, a tour that's that big,
it's like globally now.
A tour, bro, that can't risk anything going wrong because millions is on the line, then you should look at yourself and say, yo, why am I a liability?
I mean, I think he was pretty
answered
like,
it right there.
he
He
accepted
answered it.
responsibility. I don't think, I mean.
But I haven't seen, listen, bro, I haven't seen no change behavior, bro.
Look, from an addict to an addict, just drop the pookie, compa. Just drop it, stop the drugs. You could tell you're beamed up right there. And he's taking self-accountability. You know, he's like, you know what, he knows what it is, but it's like, fool. Now that tour people are like, promoters are starting to like, you know, back up. If that's what it is, like, I feel like it's the drugs, fool.
And also,
you know what I mean?
though,
That's why.
Welcome to hip-hop. Because, yo, I can't begin to tell you, bro, like how many hip-hop artists have a hard time booking a venue. 6ix9ine at his peak couldn't book a venue. Pop Smoke at his peak couldn't get a show in New York. K-Flock, drill rapper. So this is a thing that comes with hip-hop. Now, I'm not sure like how it works in the Hispanic community or like Hispanic are the Hispanic venues more open to allow it? Because, bro, I seen bro that like G Money in them and had a concert. I'm like, if they were in like a hip-hop specific like venue, that wouldn't have happened, bro.
Well, so, okay, beyond, let's just talk about the Western region United States, right?
Yeah.
I've said several times, the reason why Shoreline, OGZ in particular, are on like a higher level than a lot of, because they're able to go in like, when you look at, exactly, like, so you look at like, there's several major markets where people do concerts in California. And if you're pushing a line that specifically like eliminates half of the state, when like you could do shows in Santa Cruz, Sacramento, Oakland, San Jose, Frisco, that's 5 different markets right there. Fresno.
You're not a liability. You could go anywhere.
Yeah. So of like your fan base, several of the largest markets of your fan base are instantly eliminated because you can't tour there because of gang affiliations or controversy. These dudes that are brought on this tour, they don't have that issue. So that there.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like,
and the bigger artists
he's
too,
always
right?
dissing the North and this, that. So it's kind of like all these little things.
That puts him, and now I do agree with what he said, like, as far as whoever's willing to take a risk,
big bag on
there is a big reward, because that reminds me of when I was trying to, when me and the homie from Space Packs were trying to work with Draco. And we're trying to get Draco bail and get him a new lawyer. And my boy's got a lot of money, and he was like, we were like trying to get that. And Draco's management at the time said, "Are you sure you don't want to work with Shoreline Mafia? They don't have this whole entire LAPD campaign against them, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, no, we want, I mean, shouts to them. We love Shoreline, but we want to work with Draco and the Sync team, because even though there is a huge liability there, like the potential reward.
Were you able to get him out?
Well, we wound up once the manager actually turned out to be right when he said that whatever glaring inconsistencies you have in your past, the LAPD is going to come out the cut and try to exploit it, and we were unable to continue to pursue working with them.
And then too, like when he says, "Man, whoever takes a chance on me," shows me he has a misunderstanding of what's going on. Is no longer about your personal behavior. What you've done in your past and things that you've said about other people and distant other regions is no longer in your, bro, you could act perfectly, right? And those things are still going to come back and affect that concert and affect that show and affect that venue. Meaning, if you do a show up north, you could be the perfect model citizen up north. You can't carry a gun. You could be gray. You could be peaceful. And they're still going to come for you. That venue is still going to get toured. You know why? Because what you've done and your actions, you have taken the control out of your hands now.
But he's trying, though. He dropped the gunplay off his name. Like, he's trying. You know, he's really trying, though.
Do you think? Do you feel like Do you feel like he should have been allowed to perform with Kendrick? And do you think that was janky that
right
Kendrick
there?
didn't?
Well, it would have been a big move for him. More.
Do you think that it would have
been? But it would have been dope to see him. I'm rooting.
But
for
what
him,
more
you know?
do you want though, Lush? Like, wait, I'm I'm so confused, homie. Where does this sense of entitlement comes from? Right? Because when you say, oh, was it janky? Janky how? Meaning this, yo. You get on the album, I sent a text endorsing your new album, saying, yo, this is a great album. Oh my God. I show overlove. I'm in the studio with you. At what point do we say, bruh? Because again, y'all had the same sentiments when it came to the Super Bowl. Oh man, was it janky, bro? He didn't come to the Super Bowl, yo.
This is Inglewood, though. Yeah.
Come on, bro. At what point do y'all say he done gave enough?
Not just Lefty, but like you don't think that all the guys at least should have been.
Peso too, everybody.
I mean, yeah, Doty hit a J3. Like
you only had AZ Chike.
I personally,
bro, listen, bro. J3 is his own cousin, and if his blood cousin ain't performing on them stages, what make y'all think that he is obligated, or else if he doesn't, it's janky?
He's not obligated, and maybe janky is the wrong word. Although I think it would have behooved Kendrick and been a big moment for him as well, and LA. And if you're really pushing this black and brown unity thing to that degree, you didn't even have to turn Lefty's mic on.
Yeah,
him walking out on stage, people would have lost their fucking minds.
But they had him in the back screen, so that's cool.
Hey, man, y'all are probably. Hey, listen, man. I love Lefty. I think that he has done a very good job at handling himself in interviews, right? Because I seen an interview with that white guy and he handled it perfectly. He walked out. I seen an interview with the Mexican dude who wanted to fight him. He handled it perfectly, right? So I do see mature and growth, but I feel like what he has to understand is no longer in your hands, and that's the thing about like decisions, bro. Even like when it comes to like just regular people, when you make bad decisions, when you do crime, you then put like your power and your control now goes to the power, goes like into the hands of like law enforcement, right? In terms of Lefty, when you make bad decisions, when you try to ban people from No Jumper, for example, he told No Jumper, if y'all bring anybody from up north up here, we coming up there to fuck it up. So once you put that energy out there, they're not wrong for saying, hey, bro, y'all in our city, if y'all bring Lefty to our venue, we coming to fuck it up. Once you put that energy out there, and once you put, again.
Well, Lefty already said he refuses to do shows up there anyway.
Yeah, so he doesn't care about that.
So then how are you going to be on their tour then? Right? Because like they're going to do shows up there.
Skip those dates.
Nah,
you know
bro.
What I mean?
Again, man, they ain't trying to deal with that. And then also too, right? Okay, so look. There are places that's not probably there specifically, but there's places that are there adjacent. There are people who probably live in those places who, so now guess what? Now we don't have to worry about, hey, bro, if we're too close to certain areas now, right? So
I mean, if you think about it,
it's not worth it.
All those other cities, they be out there too.
Yeah.
Portland, Washington, you feel me? Like there'll be a lot of them out there, and it would be an issue for him in all those places.
Yeah, which is why
he can sell tickets by himself.
Well, I mean, that's been proven to not be 100% a thing either, because but then again, I don't know if that's. If that's
news,
well, no, I don't know if he's fully to blame. No, I don't know if he's fully to blame for that or the promoters. But he did have the tour in Texas canceled. Like, there's been things
like
where
10 people showed up,
and they claim what? They're like 20 tickets right
that he wasn't doing the numbers. But then again, like, so like there's ambiguity there, because is that fully his fault or is that the promoter's fault as well? The promoter chose to book you. The burden is on them to sell the tickets at that point, you know, like after they make that decision. So regardless, no, I don't think that Lefty's at a point where he's far from a national headlining act. He could
this tour would have been crazy.
Well, he could have had a big look on this tour, and he could have been
with Kendrick.
He definitely is a strong opener / supporting act. But when a lot of the regions that you would potentially have fans in, you decided that you don't want to perform in, it's pretty much a no-brainer as to why you're not going to be on the tour.
Man, hey, listen, man. Okay, so hey, right? Do you feel like sorry for him?
Do I feel sorry for him? Yeah, I do.
Man, I lost him. Yeah, I'm rooting for him. He just needs to put down the pookie and pick up the weights and like really get off that shit. You know.
I feel sorry for him because me, like, knowing him, I know that he's like
a good dude.
Beyond a good dude, he's very just genuine and speaking from his heart and doing what he genuinely believes is right. Now, he's very misguided and doesn't have the...
He's 31, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter when you've spent the
I think
majority.
it's 31.
When you
29.
okay, and of those years, how many was he of his adult life, which begins when you're 18? If you're incarcerated for like 9 of those, so he's basically 21 years old.
But some people will say though that you mature fast as fuck in jail.
Right, but you like in certain aspects you do, but you also are kind of in limbo and it's arrested
When you're on
development.
drugs, I don't know if that's just fried already.
I
or
mean,
what,
that's
but you know what I mean.
beyond
Exactly.
incarceration, drugs. Like,
Yeah.
like people be like, "Yo, Lush, why are you so immature?" Like, motherfucker, I've been doing
But-
drugs since I fucking
But
had a
you're
hair
not
on my
mature, though.
balls. You feel me? Like,
Concealing shit.
Wait, pause. Like, you feel like you're like immature?
in certain aspects, absolutely. I might conversationally be mature, but like
I just realized too, like you are a cuck.
what?
Whoa!
I seen a video
Ooh, let's get.
of Lush recording.
It's
Like,
about to turn into sus.
Yeah, let's see what's up. Sus is what?
Where's my sus army? Where's
Come on, dog.
where's my
I
sus
seen a
army
video.
knife?
Hey,
My sus army knife.
I seen a video of Lush. There was a video of Lush recording. I think his girlfriend and a few others
I got
like
Lush's back, homie.
and saving a kitten. And Lush will take that phone and put it directly on his girlfriend's ass the whole time. And I'm like, oh, Lush, you enjoy like other men.
That's not being a cuck. My girl's got a fat ass, so the camera went there. Like,
No, bro, you purposely set the camera
That's what he
on
has.
the
He's
ass
showing it off. He's like showing off a
to
watch.
kind of show that off so other men could see it and like,
to be fair,
hey, you get off.
to be fair,
Or other men like
to be
desiring
fair,
your woman.
there was like 6 girls with their ass up climbing under the car.
You only had
Bro,
eyes on her.
Even when she stood up, you still had the
Yeah.
camera and on her ass.
I mean, she's got a great ass.
So you have so you take pleasure in other men finding her desirable.
Nah, but I'm definitely not gonna be with no bitch that nobody thinks is bad. That's fucking lame. Who
It's like
fuck
the
wants
Kanye
that?
effect
you don't like
too. Like where
tortas,
Kanye
bro?
West like gets
I
off.
No, to be no. I mean, my torta is like a very it's a gray area.
She's not a torta.
That's
She's
right.
a torta, yeah? You think
That's-
so?
She's a flauta.
Wait, what?
A taquito?
Yeah, she's
Wait,
like
wait. Paul, she counts as a torta? She's not fat, like at all.
No, she's like she's not a torta, but people are gonna say what they're gonna say. Like torta could mean like anyone that's got a little bit, any bitch that got a little bit of panza. You feel me? Like,
She's like 160 pounds.
probably. That sounds about right.
That's
She's
He
fine.
has eyes on her. Shit, you better watch out, homie.
I know, yeah.
Man,
No,
man, cut it out.
because my girl got an ass and the world can see that. That don't mean that I'm
You
a cuck.
purposely want
Because anybody trying to fuck on my bitch, I will smoke you.
Oh,
And you
whoa.
feel me?
but
Like,
it's the Kanye shit, bro. Like you enjoy men like kind of like gazing and viewing and watching like what you have.
no, I just don't need her to be in a hijab. You feel me? Like she could show her ass.
That's different though than to take the camera.
They're
Like this, like-
Hey, you know what it was? I wasn't even thinking about the content. Like sometimes my carnal desires take over, and I was just like that ass, get. You know what? At the end of the world, anyone's allowed to look at
Well,
any
let's
girl's
discuss
ass.
Larry Hoover
If
being-
your girl got a fat ass, be like the homie girl got dumb.
All my
stupid
girls got
cakes.
fat asses, man. Feel me?
Exactly. So I would
What?
never judge.
Sheesh.
I would never like look down on you for that,
Okay.
or be like, oh, that don't mean that I'm trying to fuck your girl just because you got a fat ass.
Yeah.
It means shouts to you for having a girl with a fat ass.
Yes. Oh, okay. But this particular story that's been going viral tells me that people are stupid. Meaning this, okay? I've seen a few blogs post Larry Hoover is coming home. First off, that's never happening. Okay? So Hoover had multiple, I think he had like a federal RICO too. So he had like multiple Fed sentences for like for murder. So like he had like a federal life sentence, like multiple. And he also had a life sentence in Chicago or like Illinois. So this pardon does nothing. It's like kind of like the Derek Chauvin pardon, right? Derek Chauvin like getting pardoned by Trump does absolutely nothing, zero, zilch. It's more so like a cultural move, right? Trump being able to wear that big iced out chain and the, you feel me, and the grills, well, not him actually wearing it, but kind of like the AI, right? It's kind of like it's that feeling of, yo, I'm culture. Yo, Obama ain't do it. Joe ain't do it. I did it. I'm Trump. I'm culture. So with this, to me, it's just like it's straight pander, bro.
So what is commuted the sentence? What does that exactly mean?
No. He's saying that your federal sentence ends now, but he has a life sentence that's state.
So regardless of the
still
federal,
busted.
so he's still, he's not going.
He's not getting out.
Listen, it's straight posturing, straight pander, right? Listen, listen, right? So look, and also too, right, nigga, he ain't even give him a pardon. Meaning, bro, a pardon is like, yo, your federal sentence is eradicated, nigga. You is innocent, off the board. A commute is, bro, like, you've been here for like 50 years, bro. All right, cool, man. Enough, kind of, right? Which still does nothing for him. But I'm just saying is this, bro. Niggas will see this and forget that he's deporting brown people, but then bringing in like South Africans who are white.
So it's essentially a play. He's running content.
Chess,
bro,
chess,
it's the
he's running
great play.
content.
He's running
He's
content.
running content.
Come on, man. It's your foul, man.
This changed.
He made headlines.
This essentially changes nothing about Larry Hoover's life, right? Like
Listen, bro. He's gonna spend the rest of his life in prison, bro.
Hey,
if you think the state of Illinois, who has an outright, bro, they despise this nigga. You know why? Because he introduced probably, bro, like the most violent gang era that still has residues to this day to Chicago.
I mean, that's absolutely not true when you talk about Al Capone and the Italian mafia. And
Sure, but the GDP
in the modern era, yes. But the crime stats are way gnarlier back in the day.
But the GDP,
Just saying, just to be
that's
clear.
his blueprint, right? That when he passed away, the GD and the BD and their conflict is gonna be like what a lot of us know Larry Hoover for.
For sure. I mean, really, first GDs and the Vice Lords. And
the state, listen, and the state of Illinois despise him for that. You know why? Because now, guess what? They still have to deal with gang conflicts and clean up the streets. And still have to deal with a lot of shit because of what he started. And again, I'm not saying that he's not redeemable. I'm not saying that, that 50 years is not enough. However, when you start looking at life sentences, that comes because you did something that's very foul. Meaning, like we're talking about multiple people losing their lives. We're talking about murder. Listen, bro, because we're in hip hop, a lot of us forget like the permanent implications of murder. Somebody got taken off earth. Somebody's soul got snatched from them. And they can never breathe again. So, no, I don't think that 50 years is enough for that, right? For those specific things. Now, I'm not too caught up on the specifics, meaning did he like take the gun himself and do it, or right? Now, those things will probably, like change my mind, right? Meaning like, did he himself like take the gun and kill somebody, or was he just the leader of a gang where people under him did some fucked up shit? To me, that changes a lot.
Well, I mean, like, why does it change a lot? Because ultimately,
No. Okay, look.
Why.
Sure. If he's the leader of a clubhouse, right, or a gang, I do think, man, that like we do still have to give free will to a lot of people. Hey, bro.
But isn't it arguably worse if you're the one that's orchestrating, organizing, and inciting this barrage of murders?
I think that 50 years is enough if the crimes are, hey, bro, I started a gang, shit got out of hand, and niggas committed crimes under this gang. You taking guns yourself and killing people, 50 years is not enough. It's kind of like, I think it was like Mr. Dyson, right? And who said, there's no such thing as free will if you look at it, okay? Like, here, if I give Lush a multiple choice question, okay, with only 3 answers, and Lush tells me one of those answers, say, here, for example, right? If I say, Lush, like, what's the capital of bank? And like, here's the 3 options, like, to choose from, and you choose from those 3, right? And you choose from those 3 and options. Is it free will? No, right? Because you are still restricted. So I guess like the theory is, is from birth. There are things that you go through that are out of your control in terms of where you were born, who you were born to, right? And those factors lead to certain choices being made. Meaning, if I'm presented with like 3 choices, right? Hey, sell drugs, kill, or go to school. Okay, choose. Cool. I choose go to school. When I go to school, there's people at my school who hate me and want to kill me. So now I have 2 choices. Either die or protect myself, so then I get a gun. Well, then they said, well, you chose to get a gun. You choose to bring that gun to school. You choose to kill, right? So hence it's like, if the options are limited, which we all have limited options in life, where does free will come in? So I do think that those people and under him, right, who killed people, they had free will, but they were still given a limited option due to restrictions that he put in place, right? So which is why he still has to be responsible for what they did. But still in all, 50 years, I think is good. But if he killed them himself, a life sentence is the only thing that, that's
But regardless, all the people out there that think that he's free or...
No, he's not coming home no time soon.
Whatever Trump said really has no effect on his life.
But he has action, though. Now, right?
How? At the state?
He has action. Get a good lawyer?
Action.
At the state? I mean...
Come on.
I'll be real, bro.
That's on Illinois, I guess, right?
Bro, he had multiple life sentences, bro. Bro, listen, bro. There's no parole board that you're about to go to with multiple... Again, Trump did not get rid of the multiple life sentences, right? Or the crimes being committed for those life sentences. All he said was your 50 years is enough. You go to a state parole board with his record and his criminal history now. He did denounce his gang, right? I think 4 years ago, right? Where and he says, I regret it. I'm no longer GD, right? Blah, blah. So he did denounce it, but is that enough, man, to make up for lives that you allegedly took? I don't know.
I mean, also it's again, this goes back to me having different viewpoints on gangs. The original, if you look at the origins of gangs, it's not necessarily a negative thing. And it's brotherhood, is community, is people coming together. It winds up getting bastardized and turns into this criminal organization. But gangs in and of themselves, not necessarily as bad as people want to say. That's my genuine take. And I know you could say probably the same thing. Do you think there's positive elements of gang banging, or do you think it's all bad?
It's all bad now.
All bad.
Yeah, it's all bad now.
Even
oh no, it makes you a man, but I mean, you get caught up then.
But it's okay, what about the whole element of this is to protect the neighborhood? This is to make sure that, you feel me, everybody's safe here. This is camaraderie. This is brotherhood.
I think gangbanging is dumb now. Honestly.
You think it's just become so far
I grew
from
up,
what...
and then getting busted and coming and then being busted and have all the homies with my enemies, being homies with enemies is what the fuck were we doing out here, So I feel to me, I won't promote gangbanging. It's dumb.
Gang banging and
it's dumb.
And in its current incarnation and the origins of what gangs were as political party. I mean, it's crazy because most Mexican gangs, Latino gangs in LA are descendants of Pachucos and things that were organizations that were political motivated and for the betterment and advancement of the people. Crips and Bloods descend from the Black Panthers. It's essentially the same thing. So I can't just say at their core they're wrong or they're evil or they're inherently flawed. It's kind of what they evolved into is wrong, but that's the same thing. Look at what hip hop is now compared to what it started. I'm not saying it's better or worse, but it's very, very different. Look at any sport, any organization. There's huge changes. And for example, the Democratic Party, the Republican Party are vastly different from when they were created hundreds of years ago.
I guess there was a party switch, man, but I don't know, right? Hey, again, bro, I can't call it, right? Because even bro, like 5 years ago, right? Yo, there's been like a party switch, like again,
100%.
From 2008 to now, there's been like a party switch, bro.
100. Well, like, what people's idea of being liberal is completely different.
Yeah.
Like the definition of liberal has changed.
No, but I feel like growing up, and if you weren't gangbanging, you're a lame. Oh, you're a lame. You don't gangbang. But now gangbanging is like, you know what I mean? It's
watered down.
It's smart. You're just smarter now. The people that didn't get jumped into the gang, you're smart. You know what I mean? You're not obligated to do dumb shit or do, you know. I don't know. Just gangbanging is dumb.
So, just because I know we're like winding down, we don't have too much longer on the pod. I know we might have another topic we need to hit, but I did want to close out the whole thing. So, where are you at with Icon now? Icon and Negro.
We cool. I think so. He unfollowed me a while back. You know what I mean? And I was trying to pod with him, and he didn't want.
Previous to this, he had already unfollowed.
Yeah, it was like months ago. You know, and I was trying to pod with him, and nothing happened. We cool. I didn't do nothing wrong. I just, you know.
To be honest, though, I guess I don't know like how close y'all are. So, like for example, right?
He's a homie, dog.
No, sure, but like if y'all weren't like homies, then like you did nothing wrong, right? Yeah. But if y'all were like damn near like homies, like yo, like bro, like come over my house, let's have dinner, let's go out, let's chill. Then when his wife got brought up, you're supposed to say, "Hey, bro, no, I'm not doing."
Well, look, he said what he had to say on Rich Homie Juan. He said what he said. Now it would be bullying. Now it would be like if you said like, "Hey, you already said your shit. I don't want to hear it no more." You know, that's personal. That they got some personal shit. I don't know. They should run the fade or what. But it has nothing to do with me. You know
look,
did you know the extent of like?
No, I didn't know it was gonna go like that.
Yeah,
I would have been like, whoa, you know what I mean? But it was like,
no, right? Because look, right? Because bro, listen, bro, like, I'm 100% sure, bro. If let's say like a dude, right? Let's say Whack, okay?
You said Whack the story. You're my homie.
Wait, right? Okay, right. So look. If Icon and Whack was like and like on a podcast, right? And Whack brought up, let's say, you know, like your wife or kids.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, bro, Icon will say, "Not, bro, chill, man." Right? Yo, bro, he's my guy. He's not here. Let's, you know, my wife and kids are off limits. You feel me? So like, he's probably was expecting like the same love, right? Because he's like, yo, because bro, he been here, bro, when like you've been discussed, and he have gone like over the top to shut it down. Right? Feel me? Right?
You know what? But Spencer, Icon, if you feel like that, if you feel wrong, my bad. I was just having a conversation. Real talk. You know?
I respect that.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just a conversation. And now
here, let's see if I can call an Icon, okay?
Did you know the extent of Prime's issues with Icon?
No, I didn't know.
Aren't they supposed to be homies and shit?
I thought we were all homies, you know? And I know there was a fallout with him and Rich Homie Juan, but I did not know, like, that I wasn't going to go that route.
Per your understanding, without like saying things you're not supposed to, why did Prime and Icon fall out?
That's something you have to ask them.
Who Prime?
Prime is the other guy that's on the podcast.
Yeah, all facts.
There's a
on the UN Hartful?
No. Full community.
No.
So he was formerly. No, I guess it is still the food community, but
the food community. And Flocka, they're all the same.
Yeah, exactly. All Mexicans are the same.
Oh, whoa!
But here, and this is why I got mad at Raider too. I have a bone to pick with you about
what's up.
Why back in the day were you so adamant about me not going on the food community, and now you have?
It wasn't the food community. It was just with Icon, and that's the time when we thought like, remember me and you thought like that he's hating on the Peso interview. Like that was that time, and it was me, Rick, and you ain't hard too. Remember?
Okay.
That we were all like, boom, but we were on you.
I think it was the food. You were still on the food community at that point.
No, I don't think so. We could fact check. How do you know?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Icon ain't picking up, but yeah.
Well, because that's.
Well, I love you, Icon. It ain't like that, for it's with you and Rich Homie Juan. That's it. You know what I mean?
But I was just like, damn, I wanted to be on that pod. That would have been a good look.
We started
to get to
stirring shit up with you, dog.
It
wasn't
okay.
The full and if it was,
man. Well, hey, man, you feel me? We had the last super shot to read.
Yeah, we have a gang of them.
Before I gotta say, shout out to Designer Crimes for my shirt, homie.
Hell yeah, hey Raider, it's dope to have you back, bro.
It's really well.
Boom. We have a lot of them.
Right here, I think.
Are you sure we? You sure we
Viva
read
la
all the
raza,
good ones?
compa. You didn't read that one. You guys
Yeah.
read all the negative ones.
Yeah. What ones did
Are
we
you
not
sure,
read?
we're sure there's not more above that?
There's the 100 one, but that's not on here.
I didn't read the 100 one yet.
Yes, I'll click it when.
Okay, got
we
you.
do this.
El Cardoso, Viva la Raza, compa.
Yeah.
CW Sus talked about Brandon Small Shorts, and he talked about a gang put off and expected things not to escalate. How is that fair? Interesting point. I kind of agree and said the same thing earlier. Tank GTV. And tell Flacco or SB do his homework on my page. I gained 35,000 subs in about 3 to 4 months.
Wait, who's that?
Tank GTV.
When I finally
Tank?
started
Okay.
pushing myself, I'm controlled but cool. Oh yeah, I saw your video about Skinny from the 9. That shit was crazy. And Skinny's response. That was
Wait, no. But who's the guy who just said that? Tank who?
GTV.
Tank G.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, like, I'll check it out. Feel me?
XX laughing my ass off. Let's shop normalizing gang regurgitating something that was rehearsed from the 70s. I think you meant rehash, but you have to have graduated middle school to understand that. It's all bad. Real men who participated elevate. Also, you can take your finger off the caps button. There's no need to shout, brother. XX also said Lush is a problem. 40 plus alcoholic man child who never elevated to manhood. Saying the N-word as an old white man is not a flex and you proud of it. Fire Lush. How about you run up on me and tell me not to say it with your bitch ass? $100 from Zeus. Lush, you can't say who will beat up who when Sus knocked you down with Sus punch. I think you meant one punch again. Lack of intelligence. And no, you fucking retard. We fought for 3 minutes straight. Watching the pee thing, Lush, at the moment, you should have kept it a buck instead of egging it on. B and Sus had they faults, but the moment the spit happened is when Sus had to hold that L. I mean, the spit thing did definitely take things to a place where there's no really going back from. I agree with that. Thank you for the $100. Anything else? I think that's it. But dude, shouts for the honey bop.
Feria.
With that being said, Poetic Flacco, appreciate you as always, brother.
We have to hop on like a 3-hour call tonight. You feel me?
We do.
Nigga, yeah. To plan out the direction of our show.
Yeah, we do. Let's figure it out.
You feel me?
So yeah, we're gonna figure out what we gonna do with the Thursday show. That being said, we're not gonna disappoint y'all, and we're very excited. I hope and pray that things can work out for Suspect in the future
will.
over here. Regardless, I know Sus is a very talented,
I do want
intelligent
for No
guy.
Jumper to allow us to bring Sus back for at least one more show just to clear the air. You feel me? But we'll talk about that off air. You feel me?
And Raider, I'm glad. How do you feel about coming back? Was this shit fun or what?
Yeah, it was sweet, man. Yeah, it was cool. It sucked that it was on.
This note,
on this note.
But Raider did his thing. He talked his shit, stood on business.
Let's get it.
Hope to see the homie back again.
right.
Josh on the boards. Appreciate you. And with that being said, we will see y'all tomorrow at noon. Can we say what the lineup is for the?
He literally just said you have to have a 3-hour call about it.
No, but we do have the lineup for tomorrow already established.
Yeah. Right. So tomorrow is us and Brandon.
So Brandon will be joining me and Flacco to discuss all the shenanigans and more tomorrow at noon. With that being said, we never counterfeit. We about a grip, and we about this biatch out this.
God bless. God bless.
Much love.
Gratitude.
Jesus Christ, thank you.
Jesus Christ, we love you, God. We should have prayed out, huh?